What's wrong with me? My head hurts so much. All my clothes are also torn and dragged. I got no bounds on my body. Where did I go? I came from I can't remember anything. A person torn clothes skinny body standing in front of stairs said I just feel unwilling. June 30th, 2035 Dream Star Apartment 502 Feel finally come home. This is the box. I lost when I moved previously standing in front of door said Luchin. Then he said I didn't expect my boss to actually help me find it. His name is Luke Hen. He said thanks although they read just some worthless photos and certificates. They carry a lot of memories, places the bag on a table and starts unwrapping it said this seems to be first master of the game star sees shuttle from AH country part. Was it now that I think about it? It was an interesting memory. The starting point of my esports era 5 years ago Z Country National Esports Center the person standing said I am pretty happy to come to Z Country Samia. I also specially learned some Chinese, however I was extremely let down by competition opening day. Your gaming level makes me feel so bored Sima. I craved failure in this country. Sorry I didn't get it. A muscular man blonde hair said all this. His Edge Country sports player star C Exploration, strongest combat power Park Han Wang. A person in the crowd said, what are you proud of if it wasn't for Dragon King being hospitalized? He would have killed you in minutes. Shameless guy really thinks he's invincible in the world. Forget the 3-0 of Dragon King back then the host was pretty nervous then the player took the mic from him and said it seems that a bunch of losers can't accept it. If you don't accept it, I'll teach you a lesson again. A bunch of trash translate my words exactly as they were. The host thinks oh heavens I really want to quit. He said there's a certain gap between imagination and practice. If everyone doesn't recognize part player's words, he's happy to accept the challenge from the audience. Hope to bring you a satisfying exchange. The audience went silent. A person fatty named Dan on phone he heard teach you a lesson again. A bunch of trash. He said damn it I knew that the translator didn't tell the truth. Park Han standing said old Lou go up and beat this arrogant guy. And I don't like Mac games. The person fatty said don't be afraid. How about this if you win I'll treat you a hot pot. The person sitting beside him said 2 meals. He said a deal. The person standing was listen. He stood up and moved towards the stage. The audience said look someone stepped out. A freshman from S University, Luke Han wants to fight a girl said S University. Len seems like he heard it somewhere. Other guy said who is this guy? The third one said never seen him in the circle. The front romance said freshman, isn't he a bit too young? Parhen standing said overstepping your brothers. Lou casually bearing headphones and said quick battle quick decision eat after the fight and said this player, Luke Hen comes from the famous S University for esports. Many of the leading figures in our country's esports industry are well-known alumni of S University. Gets on the desktop, gets ready to play the game. Host said we look forward to play. Luke Hen and player Park bringing us a wonderful game. The game is about to begin. The player Park Han Wang did not use E-level mech provided by the organizer preparation library. He directly chose the S-level Mac. The player Lu Chen only chose an A-level Mac from the preparation library. Overall situation is a bit unexpected. Other people sitting in the crowd said damn he isn't using the Mac from the preparation library and went with that S-level Mac. Really shameless. He truly is from the EXE. Doesn't even care about his face. The game started. Player Park triggered a flame pillar. Player Luke Hen levelly dodged opponent's killer move. Park was stretched, said impossible. Other players said oh my god. After watching the flame pillar, he was able to counterattack in an instant. Where did this guy come from? Luke Hen destroyed the core of the S-level Mac with just one fire knife. Park lost the battle and said come again. The player Park, who was eliminated, entered the battlefield again with an S-class Mac. And then sorry, Park Han Wang was terminated again. This time it only took 9 seconds. It's an instant kill. He again asked come again. The player Park once again exploded into fireworks. He said come again. Come. Now Luke Hen stood up from his chair and said what come again? It's already the 5th game. See Sean will not treat me to hot pot later. The post said player Park Han Wang thinks your skills are proficient. You must be a veteran player, right? The audience said good job bro. Little watermelon keep going crazy. The host asked, but why have I never heard your name in the Mac circle? She said no. Today is my first time playing Mac. I just turned 18. I had access to the internet cafe since 2 months ago. I only understood the gameplay after watching the game yesterday. Park was traumatized after hearing this. Other players said little brother well done. Kid that's the first time and it was fantastic. New king. The new king of Mech Circle ascends the throne. Just turned it in. The future is definitely world #1. Hey handsome look over here, said screaming girls. Awesome. People taking pictures of him, shouting bro you, re awesome. Just then the story comes to the present in Luchen's head. Since then I became an esports star. Later I heard from Sean that Park Han-wong retired shortly after returning to West Country because of his defeat. After becoming famous, I chose Spirit Pain, this popular game. I named myself Liu Ken. I also officially embarked on the journey of dominating the Z Country sports circle. Wore unparalleled trophy with him. It was the first trophy I won in Spirit Pain. It was also the first time I fought the Candle Shadow Caves. The first war unparalleled final competition scene. The strength of the Hall of Fame player was truly amazing. Candle Shadow Chaos and Liu Ken are facing each other. The current situation is even more difficult to resolve. Sword splashing. This is the warrior fight. No fancy moves, only collision of knives and swords, blood and flesh. Compared to the other professional competitions, the warriors competition is more blood boiling. They're fighting Crimson King's new flame. There it is. Candle Shadow Chaos just used the Crimson Dragon Flame Slash. The commentator with headphones shouted. Fighting with a girl, Liu Ken easily parried with one move. Reverse Flow Galaxy. He said it's my turn now. Grabbed the sword and said I Shan Sword Dance. There it is. It's Luchen's highest difficulty infinite combo. I Shan Sword Dance 600. The combo count is still rising. Liu Ken said Candle Shadow Chaos. How far do you believe I can beat your record? He said one dance as the sword rain collapses. The word 197 combos already broke Candle Shadow Chaos' highest record of 196 combo. The combo is still continuing. The limit has not been reached yet. Broken defense. Candle Shadow Chaos has no power to resist. I Shan Sword Dance, Stormy Combo 240. 250 combos. Our champion tonight is born. 250 combos break Candle Shadow Chaos blood bar limit, but not Luchen's. The dynasty is about to be established. Congratulations, Liu Ken. Congratulations to the Ancient Sword Dream Soul Guild for claiming Spirit Pain's first warrior championship title. The scene shifts back to the present, and Liu Ken exhales, staring at the engraved trophy. This seems to be the only time I officially fought against Candle Shadow Chaos. Who knew the organizers would actually carve Taishan's sword dance combo count onto the trophy itself? The War Unparalleled trophy had become the 250 combo trophy, a reminder of his record-breaking feat. For a long time, his teammates and fans teased him about it, but that number was etched in history. He had shattered records, claimed numerous first rankings, and at the peak of his career, had entered the Hall of Fame as its youngest member ever. His name dominated every gaming media headline, day after day. But fate is unpredictable. How spirited he had been back then, how untouchable, only to now stand embarrassed by his decline. If not for that accident, the hospital report had been blunt. Your recovery took only 6 months, but your brain's neural responses remain impaired. Under high-intensity mental activity, you will experience a 3-second delay in nerve response. It won't affect daily life, but in esports, it's a major setback. And it showed. His rank continued to plummet. Have you heard? Luchen's ranking dropped again. Yeah, he's down past the top 100 now, Hall of Fame member my ass. He's just a joke. 98th place. Mockery followed him like a shadow. A clown twirled a stick in his hand and laughed. Will the officials give me a Hall of Fame certificate too? Liu Ken, unimpressed, turned his sharp gaze toward them. Instantly, unease settled over the mockers. Oh no, he's looking this way. So what if he's ranked 98? We're still ranked way lower than him, they muttered, avoiding eye contact. After the accident, I went from first master to a clown others mock. Frustration boiled beneath his skin, but snapping at them was useless. Pointless to waste anger on morons. He turned away, shaking his head as he walked past. The clown behind him waved mockingly. Fine, fine, you run fast. The guild's name flashed before his eyes, Ancient Sword Dream Soul. Or rather, what remained of it. Was the guild raided? Chaos reigned. Instead of the vibrant hub it once was, the place had become a wasteland, looted and abandoned. Boss, what happened here? The guild leader, exhausted, barely lifted her gaze. A few members panicked, afraid of being targeted. They quit in a frenzy, took everything they could. We were more ruthless than even the hostile guilds. The scene was a mess of shattered alliances, broken trust, and fading glory. One side held the past, the other, the future. Among the ruins of what once was, Liu Ken stood still, staring through the echoes of history. The elf girl said, "Don't worry, I am fine." He said, "Boss, about my withdrawal application. Maybe if I quit, those enemies will leave Ancient Sword Dream Soul alone." "What nonsense are you talking about?" She said, "You are one of the founders of Ancient Sword Dream Soul. The 4 stars of sun, moon, and dust can't be missing one. The target is you as well as Ancient Sword Dream Soul. Back then our guild was too famous. The fastest way to become the new king is to defeat the old one. Too many people want to step on our bones and ascend the throne. By the way, yesterday someone sent you a challenge invitation on behalf of the guild. He said Candle Shadow Chaos. She said yes, it's him. He said rejected. I can't beat him now. She said okay, I'll reject him on behalf of the guild. Just then, a system notification popped up, unable to reject. Candle Dragon Guild has withdrawn the challenge request and sent a public apology letter. He asked what's wrong, boss? She said the senior management of Candle Dragon Guild withdrew the challenge and sent a public apology letter. He asked, apology letter to whom? She said us. They think you don't have the qualifications to compete with Candle Shadow Chaos. This kind of challenge will only lower Candle Shadow Chaos value. They think Candle Shadow Chaos random challenge behavior has caused some impact on Ancient Sword Dreams Soul Guild and apologized to us. The public letter has been reposted more than 1 million times in the game. That is to say, everyone knows. Are you okay? Yes. He said I see. If there's nothing else, I will continue cleaning the dungeons. She was shocked to see his reaction. He came to bathe and thought, after the apology letter incident, it was the joint strangulation led by Candle Dragon that killed Ancient Sword Dreams Soul completely. My esports career also came to an end. In the end, the boss and I burned 7 Dragon Grassland before our guild closed down and then deleted our accounts and quit the game. Now back to real life, he bathed and now he's comfortable. He said, it's our way of expressing Ancient Sword Dreams Soul's dissatisfaction. It's 11 o'clock, let's use the computer before going to bed. The boot delay is so slow. My delay seems to be pretty slow too. Sitting on the chair, thinking that. He said on the forum headline again. This finally opened. We all quit the game and there are still 100,000 comments cursing me. If it wasn't for you guys chasing me relentlessly back then, I wouldn't have earned 7 Dragon Grassland like that. No, he was so tired and said, why did I start browsing the forum again? Let's get some sleep. Just then he saw the package, Heaven Order Gaming Helmet. The Hall of Fame special helmet sent by Yui Hang Group. Being changed for so long, I almost forgot that I was also a Hall of Fame member. Let's take a look. After all, Heaven's Order is promoted as a masterpiece beyond Spirit Pain. It's indeed a level higher than Spirit Pain. The VFX and graphics are another level, but that slogan, gaming professions, how could you be thrilled if you aren't here for a fierce battle? How could you be thrilled if you aren't here? Just then, he received a call from Sion. Hello Sion, what do you want from me in the middle of the night? Sion said, where the fuck are you? Your phone's off, no QQ, no WeChat. He said, I forgot. I don't know where I went myself. Sion said, forgot? Are you drunk? Spirit Pain closed down. Don't mind those upsetting things. What we lost, we will get back from Heaven's Order. Heaven's Order? He given up. You can go to Heaven's Order yourself. Sion said, given up? Don't joke, man. Are you still the loud Lu I know? He said, I'm like this now. How can I play? You want me to humiliate myself again? If there is nothing else, just hang up. Sion burst out in anger and said, hang up? You're a total coward. You are the demon that tore Park Han-Wang apart, kicked Candle Shadow Chaos, the youngest member of Hall of Fame, Liu Ken. Are you going to just give up like this? Are you really willing? He said, so what do you know? Sion said, I know that when being bullied, you have to fight back. Watching the guild with only 5 people left finally being crushed and quitting the game, are you really fucking willing? Lu, say something. Spirit Pain, First War, challenge withdrawn, viral apology letter. That humiliation, are you really willing to swallow it? He said, how can I be willing? What can I even do? Every day I log in and get chased. My comrades were harassed and quit the game. Not that Hall of Fame Liu Ken anymore. Sion said, you bastard, Liu Ken, you are a coward. Goodbye. Sion cut the call. A truly thrilling battle. He thought of his battle in the past, the joy of victory, the public humiliation, relentless pursuits, and the shattered guild. Every one of them was deeply embedded in his mind. I, who have seen the peak, can never rot in the mud of the valley. Sion is right. Willing? Heaven's Order, I am here. He logged into the game with a new headset and thought, this feels like traveling through a sea of data. Was Yui Hang Group's virtual technology so advanced? He reached the Temple of Guidance. It was a big hall with pillars and glowing lamps on the top. He said, what a realistic feeling, as if I really came to another place. The touch and texture of the pillars of stone are also simulated, worthy of being a masterpiece beyond Spirit Pain. He heard a narrating voice. Welcome to the Temple of Guidance, Liu Ken. A fairy appeared and said, hello, I am the system spirit. He said, hello. She said, dear player, after confirmation you are a Hall of Fame member in said country region and have exclusive ID privileges. Do you want to continue using your ID, Liu Ken? Liu Ken thought. Liu Ken, this ID has become the biggest joke of the Hall of Fame. Changing an ID would indicate a new start. His name was now Broken Sphere Sinking Sand. He thought, I am no longer the Hall of Fame member Liu Ken, but the player Broken Sphere Sinking Sand. He confirmed the name. She said, Broken Sphere Sinking Sand, broken, the iron still hasn't melted. I'll grind and force them to recognize the former dynasty. These 4 words are very poetic and very penetrating. I, the remnant of ancient Sword Dream Soul, I am back. He let out an evil laugh. The system spirit got scared of his laugh. Player Broken Sphere Sinking Sand, do you want to start a race and profession selection? He should start 10 professions debuted. Which profession is more suitable for him now? The more mobile knight, the balanced warrior, or the single target damage bursting archer? It's hard to choose. How about going back to my old line? Warrior? Just then, a notification appeared. The helmet's initial operation needs to draw blood samples for clear body detection. The helmet drew a small needle into his forehead, and the blood sampling began. He thought, blood sampling? The helmet does blood sampling? And then, another notification popped up. Started blood sampling, complicated player body detection initiated. A red warning flashed. According to detection, your heart rate is lower than normal human standards by 30%, your body temperature lower than standard by 70%, blood activity concentration lower than standard by 40%, brainwave response exceeds normal human standards by 120%, vital signs lower than normal human standards by 50%. Lu Ken thought, what's going on? Why is it all red? Is my VIP level helmet a knockoff? A red light broke through his window and he said, "Don't fuck with me." In the dim glow of the game's loading interface, a fairy's voice rang out with mystical clarity, telling Lu Chen that his unique physique qualified him for a hidden profession. Blinking with confusion, he asked what kind of hidden profession warranted such drama, only to be met with her cryptic smile and a simple question. Did he want to unlock it? He shrugged and confirmed with a casual yeah, and the system pulsed to life with brilliance. Congratulations! Hidden profession unlocked. Death Knight, the strongest warrior in hell, a descendant of the Asura clan, master of death's power, ruler of all night spirits. As the words unfolded, a Death Knight clad in dark armor emerged before Lon, who nodded in satisfaction and declared it perfect. A warrior class from a special race. Then came another system ping. The game was beginning, Broken Sphere was initializing, and Lu Chen had seconds to decide. With a murmured yes, the world shattered into pixels, and a chilling voice whispered, "Wake up, abandoned dead of Chaos Corp Ridge, Novice Village." A skeletal hand broke through the damp earth. Lu Chen blinked in disbelief. Why was his starting point buried in dirt? Looking down, he saw bare bones where flesh should have been. He muttered in horror, wasn't he supposed to be a Death Knight? This didn't match the cool image he had in mind. The system coldly clarified that the skeletal form was simply the appearance of the Death Knight. Fine, he thought, it's still a special class. Skeleton works, just feels hollow. No flesh or blood, so much for iron bones and hot blood. Now just bones. Then, out of nowhere, a voice called him Little Skeleton, and he jumped in fright. Behind him stood an undead mage, eyes glowing under a tattered hood. The figure said solemnly, "Chief of Chaos Corp Ridge, Novice Village. Awaken, Night Spirit. Take up your sword and begin your journey. Fight for the rule of Night Spirits with blood and courage." The system dinged again. He received a starter kit. Still unnerved, Lu Chen grumbled, "Damn, you scared me," but figured ragged clothes and a rusty sword were better than nothing. Donning his gear, he held the broken blade aloft and proudly declared the knight had arrived. Surely his attributes had skyrocketed, but upon checking his panel, he nearly collapsed from disbelief. Level 0. Magic defense, 0. Reputation, 0. Before he could recover, the mage reappeared, apparently enjoying dramatic entrances. "Red Skeleton, do you seek power? Want some pointers?" Mage offered with a sly tone. Lu Chen scoffed, "Pointers are fine, but I'm not selling myself." Mage burst out laughing, "You don't have any meat to sell anyway." Then came a new task. Kill 20 big-eared rabbits and collect coarse leg hairs for a reward. Lu Chen muttered about the old man's bad jokes but accepted the mission. 20 rabbits should be easy, he thought. In the carrot field, he spotted a level 3 rabbit and struck. A clean hit, 41 damage. Encouraged, he lined up another attack, calculating a 3-second delay. Swing. Missed. The rabbit dodged with ease and retaliated with a brutal kick that sent his skull flying. Stunned, he tried again, missed again. The rabbit even perched mockingly on his sword. After a series of embarrassing failures, he realized something. His input delay had dropped. From 3 seconds to 2, to 1, now 0. Confused but intrigued, he shouted, "Boss Season Candle Shadow Chaos. I, the #1 sportsman in the world, am back." Lu Chen groaned, killed by rabbits and now surrounded by loud players. Shan and the others could never hear of this. But then a strange dizziness overtook him. Sword in hand, he wondered, something tugging at his memory. Sports cars, baseball bats, his game birthplace, Lord Guan A hospital room. Then the doctor's words from his past memory echoed, self-repairing neurons. Could this be happening now? Maybe a hospital checkup was in order. But first, rabbits. The system hinted that their necks were weak points, offering bonus damage. He crept toward them and whispered, "Hello, little rabbits," before unleashing a flurry of critical hits. His experience bar climbed, and he grinned. This reduced delay felt amazing. With every swing, he felt sharper, faster, deadlier. Could it vanish entirely someday? Just then, a player came flying towards him. Then he said, "What a player?" The player said it's coming. A level 10 monster had a panicked player in its grip. Lu Chen's hollow eyes narrowed, skeletal fingers wrapping tightly around his blade. Let's raise some hell, he muttered, stepping forward into chaos. The rabbit monster, now in human-like form, was calmly chewing on a carrot. A system pop-up identified him as the king of big-eared rabbits, ruler of the carrot grassland, a temperamental, muscle-bound beast. The calm didn't last. Without warning, the rabbit hurled a man toward Liu Ken. Unfazed, Liu Ken raised the person he held as a shield, blocking the blow. His expression tightened. Today, he would avenge the chaos caused by this monster. Liu Ken had never faced a boss so early, especially after cutting his delay time. A strange excitement bubbled inside him as he gripped his sword. The rabbit wore brass knuckles, a close-range, fast-type fighter. Liu Ken quickly analyzed. Best tactic? Stay still, let the opponent strike, then dodge and find an opening. The rabbit lunged, but Liu Ken dodged and struck. It surprised the monster, but only dealt 25 points of damage. The force of the rabbit's punch was unreal. It tore through the air. Liu Ken realized the undeads could repair wounds and maintain skeletal structure, but not recover blood. What's the point of being undying if you can't recover blood? He thought grimly. He did the math. One rabbit punch caused 25 points of damage. How much could he deal in return? A critical hit landed only 8 points. This thing's fast, powerful, and tanky, he muttered. Going for the next seemed like a good move, until he found hidden armor under the rabbit's fur. If that punch landed on his front, he'd fracture for sure. Liu Chen's eyes scanned the broken tree nearby, split in half by the rabbit's raw strength. Blue's voice echoed in his mind. The weak points of the big-eared rabbit are all armored. He was the worst kind of boss. Strong, smart, and durable. Liu Ken couldn't afford a single mistake. Suddenly, the rabbit grew furious and yanked an entire tree out of the ground. Good, Liu Ken whispered. The rabbit hurled it toward him. Liu Ken slashed in response. Can't cut you? I'll cut the tree. But that wasn't the rabbit's real intention. It was just a setup. The rabbit attacked again. Liu Ken dodged and managed to strike to the eye, minus 20 points. That's when it clicked. The eyes were vulnerable. But he got distracted, and the rabbit struck back. 15 points gone, followed by a brutal rib shot that cost him 40 more. He flew into a tree trunk, groaning. Liu Ken climbed onto a branch. Little rabbit, I'm here. Like the gift I made for you? The tree below was filled with tangled vines. Get caught in that and you're stuck. Unless you destroy the whole thing, which you can't right now. He struck again, this time a clean shot to the rabbit's eye. Critical hit, minus 100. The rabbit entered a rage state. Attack up by 50%, but speed and defense down by the same amount. Blind with rage? What's the use of power now? He launched a series of precise critical hits. The final strike took the rabbit's head clean off. Victory. A system prompt flashed, boss defeated. He leveled up to level 4, receiving armor and a magic stone. Equip big-eared rabbit blowing chest plate, he commanded. It was decent gear. 10 free attribute points appeared. He added all to strength. His power rose from 11 to 16. The undead swordsman class had solid strength growth. 5 strength points translated to 3 to 5 attack power. Outside the battlefield, the sun dimmed behind the clouds, casting long shadows across the forest. The wind swayed broken branches where the battle had ended. Liu Ken looked around at the quiet aftermath, one of many fights ahead. He hadn't even collected a single leg hair yet. Let's continue the crusade. Returning to the village, he met the village chief. Well done, young little skeleton, the old man said. Liu Ken gained 150 experience and 10 copper coins. He leveled up again, level 5, and got 5 more bonus points. He asked for more tasks. Of course, said the chief. The next one is an F-level medium task. A green mantis. Liu Ken nodded. First, I need to find a merchant. I need red medicine. Coincidentally, the village chief flashed a badge and transformed into one. You too? Liu Ken asked. Nightlings are few. We value versatility, he replied. The chief saw the magic stone and offered 540 copper coins for it. Liu Ken blinked. 1 stone is worth this much? The task reward was only 10 coins. He smiled. Quantity can shine too. Got any red medicine? He asked. Guaranteed satisfaction, the chief replied. Each bottle cost 50 coins and restored 80 health points. Liu Ken bought 20. No discounts. He grumbled but paid. You're welcome again, little skeleton, the chief said with a grin. The next morning, in the quiet mist of the light forest, the Mad Dragon Guild stood tall. A board hung at the entrance. No trespassing for idlers. A skull was pinned on it. Liu Ken saw the warning and scoffed. I'm not even human. Why would I care? He walked forward, when suddenly, 2 people sprinted past him. One of them shouted, Big brother, they're chasing us. Liu Ken squinted. Those 2 brothers, how are they here? Liu Chen was ready to fight the boss as 2 people turned towards him. The first one exclaimed, There are night special spirits in front of us, and the Mad Dragon Guild behind. The heavens really want to destroy us. The other one asked, fear in his voice. Big brother, what should we do? Fight for it, the first one declared. Yes, let's fight, the other agreed. A mere level 5 night spirit, we brothers can handle it together easily. Just then, the second brother was struck by an arrow. Another arrow was about to shoot straight into him, but Liu Ken intercepted it with his hands. You guys, leave quickly, Liu Ken urged. They were thankful to Liu Ken. One who was not injured asked, Big brother, are you alright? I won't die, he replied grimly. Liu Ken thought, an archer, that's interesting. The arrows are fast, but the trajectory is too simple. With my current reaction speed, they can't touch me at all. Liu Ken was now facing a level 7 archer. The archer was surprised. He actually dodged them all. Damn it, a level 5 trash skeleton pretending to be a savior. The archer used his ultimate skill, Clan Wind Burst, unleashing a strong arrow. But Liu Ken countered with his sword, splitting an arrow in two. Your ultimate skill is so weak, Liu Ken commented. The archer, astonished, said, come again. But in that instant, Liu Ken appeared behind him. The archer thought in disbelief, he's so fast. How did he appear behind me? Liu Ken attacked, his blade flashing. Goodbye, little archer, he said. It was a critical hit, dealing 135 damage. Liu Ken noted, his attacks are still as fragile as ever. Just then, Liu Ken heard a commotion and thought, new players cannot create such a large commotion when battling. He then speculated, could it be that the Mad Dragon Guild cleared the field to surround the boss? Too bad, he muttered, there's still me, the fish that slipped through the net. A group of people fought the Green Mantis King, a level 15 boss. A figure standing on the back of a tree commanded, brothers, we have already worn down half of the boss's health. Each of our fallen brothers will receive 300 yuan in compensation, and those who lose levels as a result of death will receive an additional 500 yuan. Kill the boss, and the final blow reward is 50 yuan, in addition to previous rewards. It was level 9 player, Night Dragon Rain. Supreme. Liu Ken, observing, thought 1,200 health points down. 60,000 yuan? Is that Titan crazy, spending so much money to kill an F-level boss? The people fighting the Green Mantis King, fueled by fury and the promised reward for young Master Dragon. Charge. For the Mad Dragon Guild. Kill him. Liu Ken mused, is this a super high bonus money buff? A powerful attack landed on the soldiers. Liu Ken thought, such terrifying damage numbers. This boss is much stronger than the Big-Eared Rabbit King. Can the remaining members of Mad Dragon hold on until the end? The person standing above directed, keep going. Don't stop. Pay attention to coordination and positioning. First, attract the boss's aggro. Take advantage of the boss's attack cooldown time. One hit and retreat, don't stay longer. Liu Ken thought, what kind of battlefield command is this? Too wishful thinking. This kind of brainless attack will cause heavy losses to their own side. Could it be he wants to use other people's lives to slowly grind the boss to death? Death compensation, 300 yuan per person. If you lose a level, an additional 500 yuan. The Mad Dragon Guild has 50 people on the scene, so death and level losses will cost 40,000 yuan, plus the health point reward and death compensation. This Dragon Reign Supreme actually spent a large sum for an F-level boss's first kill. The guild members continuously attacked the Mantis King, ready to risk their lives. The leader called out, Archer Squad, shoot your arrows. The Mantis King was near death. After the archers fired, the leader said, Archer Squad, great job. When the boss has only a sliver of health left, stop attacking and let me finish it off. Liu Ken thought, no wonder this kid is almost level 10. It turns out he's monopolizing 50% of the boss's final experience. But just then, the Mantis King entered a berserk state. Liu Ken wondered, why did the boss go berserk? The others panicked. Young Master Dragon, leave it to me, one shouted. Another thought greedily, nice, 800 yuan in hand. Brothers, for young Master Dragon, get more of its health. Here I come. They charged, seeing the boss was near death. The young master commanded, keep going. Don't stop. He thought, its health is almost gone. Use your lives to create an opportunity for me when the Mantis King had only 3 health points left. The young master, ready to strike the final blow, jumped from the tree and yelled, go to hell. But unexpectedly, Liu Ken appeared from nowhere, standing in front of the Green Mantis King. Who are you? Young master demanded. I am just an ordinary passerby, Liu Ken replied. I just happened to pass by here, and I am here to get justice for those players who were violently driven away by you. You sound so righteous, the young master sneered. Yes, but you only showed up now. Your purpose is still to snatch the boss's first kill. I am only here to purify the game environment, Liu Ken said, thinking, and collect some boss loot as compensation. Just then, the Mantis King attacked. How dare you touch my things, the young master yelled. Go to hell, fish that slipped through the net. Liu Ken saw the Mantis King's attack, stopping it with his bare hands. It was a pincer attack. He then drew his sword and swiftly killed the young master. The young master, dying, sputtered, "Struggle will only speed up your death." He was cut off. Liu Ken said calmly, "Practice your skills more, young master. Money isn't the only way." As the young master's game character was being deleted, his last words were, "How dare you steal my things? I wonder how many lives you have." Liu Ken thought, "That grandson will definitely bring people to block me after he revives. I have to hurry up." He then focused on the Green Mantis King. "Don't worry," he muttered, "I'll be with you soon." The Green Mantis King was now in a weakened state. Its stats decreased. With a single, precise blow, Liu Ken killed it. There was a world announcement. Spear sinking sand, that is Liu Ken, has achieved the first kill of the Green Mantis King. Just then a warning popped up on his system. His life index was below the minimum limit. You will be forced offline. The system will automatically save the experience and equipment you obtained after killing the boss. The scene shifts to the real world. Liu Ken, removing his VR headset, looked at it, puzzled. Why was I suddenly forced offline after killing the boss? What did that warning mean? He then heard a knock on the door. Who is knocking at this hour? He opened the door to find Shirsan. "Why are you here?" Liu Ken asked. "Of course, I am worried about you," Shirsan replied. "You didn't reply to my messages or answer my calls." He then looked closely at Liu Chen's face and shouted in terror, "You, looking like a zombie." Liu Ken heard Shirsan's alarmed question, "A zombie? Where did that come from?" Shirsan quickly showed him his phone, displaying the camera feed. Liu Ken looked into it, his voice filled with fear. "Where did these spots come from?" "What are these?" Shirsan replied. "These are corpse spots, the kind only corpses have." And the spots were expanding and changing at a visible speed. "Don't joke around at 2 in the morning, Liu Ken pleaded, trying to dismiss it. "This is just some kind of skin allergy, right?" Shirsan insisted. "If you don't believe me, I can take you to my dad's hospital to check it out. It's exactly the same as what was recorded in my family's forensic data." Liu Chen's head began to throb. "How could I possibly have this kind of thing? My head hurts so much." Shirsan's expression tightened with worry. "Hang in there, Liu Ken. I'll take you to the hospital right away." The scene shifted to the hospital emergency room. Dr. Du Zongjing, Shirsan's father, examined Liu Ken. He confirmed grimly, "It really is corpse spots." Shirsan asked, "Dad, how is the situation?" Dr. Du shook his head. "It's hard to say for now. Let's go for a blood test first. I'll arrange a PET CT scan." Liu Ken thought, too weird. There's actually such a thing. He then asked, "Uncle Du, how are the blood test results?" Dr. Du sighed. "The conclusion isn't easy to say. This is a disease that has never been seen before. There's a giant virus in your body that goes beyond biological logic." Liu Chen's mind raced. Giant virus? Could it be that I am infected with the zombie virus? Dr. Du continued, "The weird thing is that it doesn't attack your healthy cells, but instead repairs damaged cells. But correspondingly, because you have too many damaged cells in your body, this objectively slows down the speed of blood circulation." Liu Ken was shocked. Dr. Du continued, "Corpse spots are, after all, caused by the disappearance of blood circulation. Your current situation is because the blood flow speed is slow, causing some blood to accumulate on the surface of the skin. And your current blood circulation speed is gradually slowing down. Once the body stops circulating blood, you are very likely." Liu Ken finished the thought for him, "Will die from the disappearance of blood circulation." "Don't be discouraged," Dr. Du quickly added. "Now that medical technology is so advanced, there must be a way." The PET CT was ready. "Let's check if the virus has any other effects on your body." "Thank you, Uncle Du," Liu Ken said. "Don't be polite with me," Dr. Du replied, but then his expression turned serious. "But, Liu Ken, have you experienced anything strange these days?" "Strange things?" Liu Ken pondered. "No, nothing really." Dr. Du pressed. "Nothing," Liu Ken confirmed. In the CT room, Shirsan asked his dad, "Dad, do you suspect that Liu Ken is hiding something?" Dr. Du replied, "I just want to confirm. He may really not remember what happened to his body. This is a protective mechanism of the brain." Shirsan's eyes widened. "You mean Liu Ken has post-traumatic stress disorder, forcing himself to forget some things?" "That's right, Shirsan," Dr. Du confirmed. He read some medical books at home. Judging from his blood circulation and its speed, he should have suffered a heavy blow before and may even have died once. The situation is not optimistic now. Let's inform his family as soon as possible." "How could it be?" Shirsan whispered, heartbroken. Inside the CT machine, Liu Ken felt a strange warmth spread through him. Dr. Du said, "I'll go get the film. You can take Liu Ken to the MRI room. I'll be there soon." Shirsan led Liu Ken to the MRI room. As he opened the door, he screamed. Dr. Du, rushing over, scolded him, "What are you screaming about in the hospital in the middle of the night?" "Dad, look!" Shirsan exclaimed, pointing. The corpse spots are all gone. Dr. Du was utterly surprised. How's that possible? He asked Luken, how did you feel? Luken answered that he had felt warm when he was doing the CT scan, but then he hadn't felt any discomfort at all. Dr. Du stared straight into his eyes. This is too outrageous. Face normal, pupils normal. Just by irradiating X-rays, the corpse spots had all disappeared. He was visibly frightened. Hurry up and get the blood drawing equipment over here. No, let's go to the laboratory. Calm down, Uncle Du, Luken urged. 3 hours later, Luken was sitting with Shirsan. He sighed. I feel like your dad wanted to cut me into pieces and do human research. Shirsan laughed. I didn't expect my dad to actually draw 800 cubic centimeters of your blood for experiments. Now it's confirmed that X-rays have an inhibiting effect on the virus. Shirsan continued. As long as we test out the most suitable X-ray wavelength for directional irradiation, you will definitely recover. Now it's 6 in the morning. You rest first. We'll go buy some breakfast. Shirsan left and Luken, thanking him, thought, I had suffered a heavy blow. Why don't I have any impression? Just then, Shirsan called out, Luken. At the community gate, a beauty in a sports car is arguing with the security guard. The beauty has a bandage wrapped around her head, and she looks like she's in a hurry to catch a mistress. Do you want to go downstairs and watch the excitement? Luken asked if he had taken a picture. I did, Shirsan confirmed, showing him the picture. She's pretty, but the security guard doesn't seem to trust her. After seeing the girl, a lost fragment of Luchen's memory shattered its chains. He remembered everything that night. After his first date with that person, he had died. How does this revision feel to you? Do you have another section ready, or would you like to discuss this part further? No, what's wrong with you, Luken? Shirsan asked, his voice filled with concern. Luken explained, that woman is Yi He, the boss of Ancient Sword Guild's Dream Soul. Shirsan was shocked. She's your boss. Just then, a knock sounded at the door. A voice called out, Luchen, it's Yi He. Luken muttered, wow, you found me so fast. Shirsan, still confused, said, why do I feel like you not here for good? What did you do last night? Forget it, since you know each other. They'll open the door and you can talk face to face. Here they come. Just then, Luken urgently shouted, Shirsan, wait. Don't open the door. I have something to tell you. But it was too late. The voice from outside, clearly Yi He's, declared, Luchen, I know you inside. She opened the door herself. Shirsan, rubbing his eyes, grumbled, it's so early. Can't you let people sleep? He then said, move now. Turning to Yi He, he asked, Beauty, do you need something? Yi He's eyes scanned the room. Luken, where is he? I just heard his voice. Shirsan feigned ignorance. I don't know any Luken. You must have come to the wrong place. Impossible. He must be here, Yi He insisted, stepping further inside. You trespassing on private property. Shirsan warned. Luken, I know you there. Why are you avoiding me? I am really worried about you. Yi He called out, walking directly towards Luchen's bedroom door. Luken thought, Boss Yi He. Shirsan, didn't I tell you to fool her away? How did she get into the bedroom? I am done for. Just then, Shirsan shouted, Luken is already dead. Yi He froze, stopping abruptly. Impossible, she gasped. Shirsan, relieved, thought it stopped. That was close. Yi He's voice trembled. Impossible. Luken can't be dead. You must be lying to me. It's true, Shirsan insisted. If you don't believe me, you can go to the 4th hospital and check the death report. Yi He shouted, liar. Luken, a big liar. And ran out of the house, her voice echoing down the street. Aftermath and confession. Shirsan immediately called his dad. Hey, Dad, help me out. He quickly explained the situation. Then, hanging up, he opened Luchen's bedroom door. Luken, she's gone. Was this really the right thing to do? Luken replied, in the hospital, I was naive enough to think that as long as I used X-ray treatment, my body would be like a normal person. But after the memory lock was broken, I didn't even dare to confirm whether I was alive or not. Rather than giving Yi He hope and then tearing it apart, it's better to give her despair directly. That way the pain will be less. Shirsan sat on the floor, looking utterly confused. Making less and less sense. What happened to you last night? You didn't just explain it. Explain it to me. I was buried alive, Luken stated, his voice hollow. What? Shirsan exclaimed. Luken began. Yesterday afternoon, I went to meet my boss. I thought it was just a normal online friend meeting. I didn't expect her to be Yi He, the vice president of GGS Asia. Yi He? A rich and beautiful woman? Aren't you and your boss game lovers? You hooked up with a rich woman? Shirsan asked, raising an eyebrow. Luken clarified, the boss turned my game equipment into a large sum of money and invited me to join her new studio. She even expressed her feelings for me, but I rejected them all. Shirsan said, Luken, we are really, but Luken cut him off. With my 3-second delay status, I would only be a burden to her. I don't want her to waste time on someone like me. He continued. She insisted on dropping me off, and on the way home, there was an accident. Our rivals, who were competing with Yi for the position of President of Asia, saw that their victory was hopeless, so they set a trap on the way, wanting to kill us. Luke Han saw himself surrounded by a group of armed people, holding Yi protectively in his arms. He recounted, in order to save myself, I ignited the car's fuel tank, but the explosion only delayed them for a minute. The boss was thrown by the blast wave onto a passing tractor by me. I stayed behind for her. Seeing that their plan failed and their prey escaped, the furious assassins vented all their anger on me. I was beaten by them to the point of dying. Maybe they thought I was dead after venting their anger. They dragged me to the chaotic burial mound in the north of the city, and I was buried alive by them. In a quick burial mound? Shirsan asked, horrified. Fortunately, there's no way out for heaven, Luke Han said, a grim smile touching his lips. The heavy rain last night saved me. The soil that buried me became very loose because of the heavy rain. I lost consciousness and crawled out of the ground like a zombie. I don't know how I moved. I only felt the pain in my body gradually disappearing. And when I regained consciousness, I was standing at the door of my house. There was no wound on my body, only a faint pain at the back of my head. It's because you were infected with a giant virus after being buried, and the virus consistently repaired your body, Shirsan deduced, his eyes wide. This is too incredible. Luke Han looked at him intently. Shirsan, do you think I'm still alive now? Shirsan replied. All the mysteries are hidden in the chaotic burial mound in the north of the city. It seems that we have to go there. I'll come with you, Luke Han offered. You need to rest well now, Shirsan said, seeing Luchen's whole body shaking. He wasn't even able to stand and move without support. Shirsan grabbed some food. You eat first, we'll go out for a while. Are you going to the chaotic burial mound now? Luke Han asked. No, Shirsan replied. It's about your death certificate. My dad almost scolded me to death just now. By the way, my dad asked me to take your gaming helmet with me. Well, take it away, Luke Han said. Hospital conference room. Shirsan then reached the conference room of the hospital and said, Dad, I am here. He saw a bunch of old guys sitting there in the conference room. The scene shifted to Luchen's house. Previously, his income from the game was only about 130,000 yuan, which was barely enough. Before leaving, he had to earn enough money to support his dad's retirement. He was the eldest brother in their family. Just then, a voice called out, Luchen, where are you? Shirsan, I'm here, Luke Han replied, looking at the boy. What are you doing with these bags? Are you running away from home? No, I am moving with you, Shirsan answered casually. What? Luke Han exclaimed. But I only have one bed here. Shirsan shrugged. It's okay. Your sofa is wide enough for me to sleep on. Luke Han narrowed his eyes. Shirsan, tell me the truth. Have I reached the point where I need personal care? What are you talking about? Shirsan scoffed, flopping onto the sofa. I'm just too bored at home by myself. He then added, as for now, you won't die anytime soon. This is your analysis report. The report showed that Luchen's vital signs were surprisingly good. That's impossible, Luke Han said, disbelieving. I didn't believe it at first either, Shirsan admitted. Later, those old professors did several groups of comparative experiments before I believed it. Luke Han asked, the old professors? My thing was discovered? Yes, it was discovered, Shirsan confirmed. Your virus gene sequence project was too big. Dad had to ask for help, then more and more people came. Older and older, qualifications higher and higher levels. In the end, a group of medical bigwigs from textbooks came. These giants made a phone call, and the chaotic burial mound became a military-restricted area. But after these old professors came, the efficiency was very fast. In half a day, the secret of the chaotic burial mound was dug out. What secret? Luke Han asked in shock. Under the chaotic burial mound is a group of tombs from the end of the Han Dynasty, Shirsan explained. It may have something to do with Yiguan, but the specific situation still needs further excavation. This feels a bit mysterious, Luke Han commented. There's more mysterious stuff, Shirsan said, his voice dropping slightly. In the corpse fluid leaked from the tomb, they found virus protoplasts with the same genes as the virus on your body. 1,000-year-old corpse fluid, what is this virus? Isn't it written in the file? Luke Han asked, scanning the report. Luchen's eye. Corpse virus. It's named after you. That's a really good name, Luke Han murmured. You look at it first. I'll pack up my stuff, Shirsan said, walking towards his bags. Luke Han watched him, noticing a doll in Shirsan's bag that resembled his own prototype doll. Luke Han continued reading the report. Why are the virus characteristics only in a brief introduction without any specific content? In less than a day, those big shots could only write a summary analysis report, Shirsan replied. The specific characteristics still need them to study further. The only characteristic that can be confirmed now is super strong repairability. The virus is constantly repairing your cells and strengthening your body, and now your physical fitness is ridiculously good. The virus enhanced my physical fitness, Liu Ken acknowledged, but it also slowed down the blood flow speed and released excessive acidic substances during the cell repair process, causing other organ burden and heart rate decline. Compared to those physical problems, the most important thing is no one is interested in my body. San interjected. Dad told me that there was indeed a dispute at the time. Most people wanted to send you to the laboratory for 24-hour observation and research. A few top-level big shots thought they needed to respect your personal opinion. Later, they found out that the virus prototype was more valuable for research and your importance plummeted, only as a reference object for the virus protoplast. It's fine, as long as I don't become a white mouse, Liu Ken said with a sigh of relief. I didn't expect this virus to help me 3 times. 3 times? Isn't it 2 times? San questioned. Repairing cells made me come back to life, Liu Ken explained. The virus protoplast made me avoid becoming a white mouse. And finally, my brain delay dropped to 0. 9 seconds? Really? San said in shock, dropping his bags. Yes, really, Liu Ken confirmed. Quick, give the game helmet to Liu Ken. San exclaimed excitedly. Quick, take me into the game and let me feel it too. By the way, this thing can repair cells, then it must be able to repair your brain nerves. How come I didn't think of this simple logic? It's also a good time to test the X-ray system that Dad and others installed. See if it works. X-ray system? What's that? Liu Ken asked. Simply put on your helmet, San answered. Now your helmet can release an X-ray spectrum that has an inhibitory effect on the virus, so you don't have to go to the hospital every day for the X-ray inhibition treatment. Isn't that great? That's better, Liu Ken conceded. At least I don't have to go to the hospital every day and can treat myself at home now. He then noticed something else. Besides the helmet, there's also this thing. Liu Ken looked at the bracelet. What's this? He wore it on his hand. Live detection bracelet, San explained. It can detect your vital sign data and transmit it to the hospital in real time for data reference. But you still have to do a full body check once a week as a detailed data reference. Detection bracelet, Liu Ken repeated, then pointed. San, what's this red line? Red line? San asked in shock. Just then, the bracelet emitted a red light, and some patterns became visible on it. What's that? San wondered aloud. The scene shifted to a van parked outside Liu Chen's house. Inside, San's dad was adjusting something on a bracelet. Okay, he announced. Is that okay? Liu Ken asked, concerned. The red line and electric shock won't suddenly appear again, right? San's dad shot a look at San. No. If someone hadn't forgotten the basic principle of debugging first before wearing it, this kind of accident wouldn't have happened at all. He turned to Liu Ken. Uncle, San has worked hard today too. It's inevitable that he forgot. This brat, San's dad muttered affectionately. I guess he forgot how to use the bracelet. Let me explain it in detail. This bracelet can monitor your vital signs in real time. The black line is the normal state. If the bracelet shows a red line, it means your heart has a problem, and the bracelet will automatically discharge and do CPR for you. A blue line means a lung problem. The bracelet will automatically inject adrenaline. A green line means a spleen problem. Your vital signs are different from normal people because of the virus. San didn't debug the parameters before he dared to put it on you. No wonder as soon as the red line appeared, the bracelet started to discharge, Liu Ken realized. San's dad continued, don't panic when the lines appear. If you are in the city, I will be there in half an hour. If you want to leave the city, you need to report to us in advance. This is also for your safety. I hope you can understand. Liu Ken thought, my travel range is limited to within the city. This should be the biggest concession they made. He then stepped out of the van. Uncle, take care. Contact me immediately if anything happens, Dr. Du replied. San sighed dramatically. Oh my god, he finally left. Liu Ken chuckled. Uncle also helped me debug the X-ray system, test it. He then asked San, by the way, Liu Ken, is your game ID still the same? I'll add you online later. Liu Ken said, I changed mine. What about yours? They both agreed to tell each other their ID names together. Broken Hailbird, Sinking Sand, Liu Ken announced. Peerless Master, San stated simultaneously. They both looked at each other with surprise. Liu Ken, holding his gaming helmet, went inside. Good name, San. Am I not worthy? San yelled playfully after him. Worthy? Hurry up and install the mainframe. I am waiting for you to fly with me online, Peerless Master. Liu Ken shouted back, closing the door. A slipper came flying through the air. It was San, who threw it yelling, Go to hell, Liu Ken. Inside his room, Liu Ken smiled. Wait for me, San. I, Liu Ken, will make you a true Peerless Master. I already wasted a lot of time. I wonder what rank I am now. He thought, after the helmet starts, the X-ray system will start as well. This feels so good. He entered the game. A system pop-up appeared. Player Broken Halberd, Sinking Sand, reconnects to the game. Returns to offline coordinate, Green Mantis location, Morning Light Forest, Green Mantis treehole. He saw that he had obtained a jungle green blade in the Morning Light Forest Green Mantis treehole. Liu Kang thought, how did I get into the Green Mantis lair? It seems that the offline coordinate should be anchored to the green blade's coordinate. Let's try out this sword's power. He attacked the tree. The attack went out of the hole, and other green mantises present there noticed. There was a huge army of green mantises. They marched towards Liu Kang. Unaware of the approaching horde, Liu Kang commented, "Blackstone weapons are really sharp." He landed a light hit that pierced through the giant tree. Standing outside the tree, he saw the green mantises. Let's see what effect it has on monsters, he mused. The mantises were mostly level 7 and 8. Just in time, he said, attacking. Each hit was a critical hit. He thought, critical hit over 400. Worthy of a Blackstone weapon. A mantis was ready to sneak attack. Liu Kang punched it, saying, "Want a sneak attack on me? You're not qualified." He pointed his sword towards the approaching mantises. "I am in a hurry, so you guys come together." In shock, he then exclaimed, "My God, they really came together." Within just a few strikes, he cleared them all. Then died together as well. The battle ended there. He cleaned the sword with a cloth and thought, still so handsome, but compared to before, it's still a little bit worse. Just then, he heard a sound, Broken Halberd, Sinking Sand. It was his game name. Liu Kang thought, who's calling me? It was an undead judge. The undead judge was a powerful entity from purgatory who came to the world through a contract. Its strength was unknown. Liu Kang thought, this time, they won't be looking for trouble with me, right? The system identified Liu Kang as a player. The trial was starting. Liu Kang wondered, what were they going to do? Just then, he obtained a scroll in his hand and realized it was a bounty for 250 gold points. A world announcement followed. Player Dragon Reign Supreme issued a bounty on player Broken Halberd Sinking Sand, 250 gold coins. Liu Kang thought, 250 gold coins? 1 gold coin is about 100 yuan. Killing him once is 25,000 yuan. This is trying to use money to drive me out of the game. He shouted in anger, Dragon Reign Supreme, you wait for me. Let's see who quits the game first. A system panel displayed a message. Congratulations, player, for completing the Green Mantis task. He had now reached level 10 and obtained the qualification to change his class. He was very happy that he could finally change his class. Just then, he received a friend request from Peerless Master. He thought, Shursan is online. He accepted the friend request. Liu Kang, what's going on? How did you get a bounty again? Shursan asked immediately. I met a rich idiot, Liu Kang explained simply. Liu Kang, you haven't changed class yet, have you? Shursan questioned. No, why? Liu Kang asked. No wonder, Shursan said. A group of players who have completed their class change think you are a weakling and are ready to kill you. They coming so soon? Liu Kang reacted. Look at the public chat channel, Shursan instructed. After seeing the new chat channel, Liu Kang thought, these bastards really think I am a weakling. Shursan added, this group of people seems to be teaming up to chase you down. What do you want to do, Liu Kang? Who in this world knows how to chase better than me? Liu Kang scoffed. Don't forget how I survived the last year of secret pain. Yeah, Shursan recalled. Last year, when you came online, people were waiting for you. How did you hold on? Liu Kang explained how he had survived. He spread false news, pretended to be a corpse, disguised himself as a wild monster, used a small account to infiltrate the enemy camp, and even stayed in the boss lair for half a month. Shursan was shocked. Ooh, ruthless. Liu Kang said, that year, I was forced to become a master of escape. It was all tears of bitterness, but now. Liu Chen's voice hardened. Let me show you how the master of escape plays with them. He sent a screenshot of him killing the green mantises to Shursan and asked Shursan to immediately spread that screenshot, claiming Liu Kang was killing monsters in the Morning Light Forest. Liu Kang, you want to lure these people to the Morning Light Forest? Shursan realized. That's right, Liu Kang answered. False information can make them swarm in. I'll take the opportunity to change class. Shursan was surprised. Amazing, Liu Kang. Liu Kang placed leaves on his head and commented, this is just the basic operation for the Master of Escape. In order to avoid being discovered on the way, I also need to use camouflage. I'll go ahead first. He then covered his whole body with grass, blending in with the ground. Weaklings, accept this master's play, he muttered. In the world chat, the screenshot was spread by Shursan. A person seeing the chat asked his brother. Big brother Black Tiger sent a message. What message? Broken Halberd is in the Morning Light Forest, he replied. Are you coming? Of course, his brother said. That's 25,000 yuan. Liu Ken, now hiding as a rock, thought they finally left. He got up, still wearing a rock on his body, with 2 holes in front for him to see. Running, he thought, after this wasteland, it should be the iceberg peak that the village chief spoke of. He recalled the past when the village chief had said, there's an iceberg peak 10 miles outside the city of Ice City. At the iceberg peak, you can find the undead swordsman Sen. With my personal introduction letter, Sen will take you as an apprentice. In the present, Liu Ken thought, to the iceberg peak, I can change class. That's the territory of the Night Spirit camp. Players from the human camp will be automatically marked as hostile by the Night Spirits in pieces, but my intuition tells me the iceberg peak has the only Night Spirit class change place. Dragon Reign Supreme must have sent troops to guard it, but changing class is something I must do. No one can stop me. He was just a canyon away from iceberg peak. He thought, let's see how many enemies are outside the iceberg peak. Standing on a rock, he decided, if there aren't many people, I'll just kill them as soon as possible by going straight and hard. If there are lots of people, I'll feign a move to the east and enter the iceberg peak secretly. Just then, he saw the iceberg peak. Level 12. Archer was saying, everything is normal ahead. A person standing on the other side said, got it, keep scouting. It was a level 15 Night Spirit, Dragon Little Sky King. Dragon Little Sky King thought, did we really need 4 of us to deal with a guy who hasn't even changed his class? Another person, a level 13 Boy Year Triangle Love Dragon setting, thought, isn't Dragon Reign too cautious? The 4th member was a level 14 Shield Warrior, Mount High. Just then, the archer shouted, all alert. The others responded, after waiting for so long, he's finally here. Liu Ken thought, only 4 people? Let's just find the right opportunity and kill them in one go. He walked towards them with no fear. The other party yelled, die, broken halberd. The wind howled through the trees as Liu Ken narrowed his eyes toward the distant threat. He could sense danger. There's only an archer about this distance who can hurt me, he thought. First, let's find a way to get closer. His skeletal body moved steadily, calculated and silent. He called out, trying a diplomatic approach. As soon as we met, you aim to kill. Is there any way we can sit down and talk? But the man in front, gripping a long spear, scoffed at the idea. Sit down and talk? Don't joke with me. When you stole the boss kill from the Mad Dragon Guild and killed our guild leader, why didn't you think about sitting down and talking first? Now you're scared? Lon smirked, shrugging as if the situation wasn't deadly serious. You Mad Dragon Guild guys are rich and powerful. I'm just a skeleton who admits defeat without losing face. It's just that, if the brothers here can give me a break, I'll just fly like a fart from here. His thoughts raced as he counted down the distance. 10 meters, only 8 meters left to enter my attack range. But the spearman wasn't buying it. You want us to let you go to Iceberg Peak and let you change a job? We're not that stupid. Young Master Dragon has already killed the broken spear without mercy. But, considering how good your attitude is, I might consider killing your whole lane once. After all, guarding your corpse at the resurrection point and killing you to level 0 isn't really my style. From behind, an archer spoke up. Big brother, it's not easy for us to level up. Bye, brother, Liu Chen said calmly, ignoring the tension in the air as he kept advancing. 5 meters, he thought. The spearman pressed on. You offended our dragon guild and still want to get away with it? Liu Ken shrugged, his sarcasm sharp. It seems I really offended the wrong people. The guild member continued with pride. You were able to escape the chase of the whole network and safely reach here. That proves you've got some skills. But compared to us, who have already changed jobs, you're still not qualified. Our Mad Dragon Guild is full of hidden talents. Even I rank only 10th in the whole guild. One day, our guild will rival the Candle Shadow Chaos Guild. From the moment you offended Master Dragon, your gaming career was over. That last line sparked a flicker of rage in Liu Chen. You guys want to compete with Candle Shadow Chaos? You're really ignorant and fearless. The spearman sneered. You dare mock our dragon guild? Do you want to die so badly? The boring conversation ends here. Do you know? The more they talk, the more miserable they die. Just then, the archer released an arrow, shouting, die, but Liu Ken dodged with precision and delivered a swift critical hit to the archer, arranging the archers in the front line. Your team's awareness is pretty weak. It's laughable, he scoffed. Because of 2 nice words from the enemy, you just watched him walk up to you from 100 meters away. Are you retarded? The spearman growled. Damn it. Don't panic. We still have 3 people left. He's just a night spirit who hasn't changed his job. The group charged at him. Dispose the formation. Attack from all 3 sides, shouted the spearman. But Liu Ken was ready. Useless, he muttered. Without that archer's sneak attack, I'm quite invincible in close combat. The assassin, a female, darted in with a blade aimed at his back. Liu Ken twisted, countering her move effortlessly. The shield warrior followed with a heavy swing, and the other guild member flanked him from the side. Watch me punch you away. Liu Ken declared, swinging his fist, only to miss. He blinked. My punching speed was faster. The delay has reduced again. He fell back a bit, evaluating the situation. Wow, those two were too close, he thought, glancing at the assassin and the warrior. According to the current repair speed, maybe in 2 days, I'll have the strength to fight Candle Shadow Chaos. With a renewed grip on his sword, he focused. Now, let's drive it with you first. How strong am I with a 0.7-second delay? He activated Fury of Earth, a tank's charge skill, but Liu Ken was far too fast to be caught. Such a long skill preload, he muttered, sidestepping the attack and landing a critical blow on the archer. It's just a live target for me. Shock spread through the enemies. How is it possible? Thought the spearman. The shield warrior was killed in seconds. Before he could regroup, the assassin was down too. Her body hit the ground silently. Don't worry, Liu Chen said coldly. It's your turn soon. Wait a minute. We can sit down and talk now, the spearman begged, fear overtaking his voice. But Liu Ken didn't hesitate. Sorry, he said, pushing the sword straight into the man's forehead, driving it deep with one brutal motion. I don't have the habit of sitting down and talking with my opponents. As the dust settled, he looked around, scanning the silent battlefield. The main force of Mad Dragon should be here soon, he whispered to himself, already preparing for the next wave. She should hurry up. Liu Ken stepped into the shadows once more, vanishing from sight. The spearman scanned the area nervously, heart racing. That was too close. He should be gone by now, right? But before he could steady himself, a voice whispered from behind. Hey, how did you revive on the spot? Did you hit a resurrection position? His breath caught as Liu Ken appeared beside him. No, bro, the spearman stammered. Players above level 15 revive on the spot after dying. I just reached level 15. Liu Ken paused, taking in the information. So revive on spot kicks in after level 15. That changes things. He placed the blade of his sword right on the man's neck, icy and calm. You'll have to be more careful and cautious after level 15. It'll be troublesome if you get PK scammed. Sweating, the spearman held the blade gently, trying to keep it from cutting deeper. Bro, I've explained everything clearly. Can I go now? Liu Ken tilted his head. Weren't you arrogant before? Why so pathetic now? Without warning, he struck the man on the head with the flat of his sword. We lost 4 against 1, the spearman muttered. We are really strong, but I can't beat you. Just then, the spearman's interface blinked. A call from Dragon Reign Supreme. Why no? He thought, panicking. Quietly, he tried to decline the call. You got a call, Liu Ken said. Why don't you answer it? I'm screwed, the spearman thought. He answered anyway. Hello, young Master Dragon, but Liu Chen's voice shouted in the background. Sea Dragon, I've received your coordinates. Hold him off, I'll be there soon. This time, we must get him until he quits the game. Liu Ken rolled his eyes. Dragon Reign Supreme, you guys are really persistent and annoying. The call continued, the guild leader's voice venomous. Broken spear. Sinking sand. Blue, it's time your sidekicks stopped wasting my time. I'm waiting for you at Iceberg Peak. You want to kill me? You're not even qualified. Your master is so angry. Liu Chen's tone shifted. Now I'll kill Sea Dragon first as a sacrifice. The spearman panicked. Big brother, if I die again, I'll drop to level 144. It's not easy for us to level up. Young Master Dragon, help me. The furious voice roared, Bastard! You dare touch Sea Dragon? See what happens. But the call was cut short. Fuming, Dragon Reign Supreme barked orders to his team. Half of you go with me to Iceberg Peak. The other half, camp at the resurrection point. Yes, sir. Broken Spear added coldly, I'll make sure you quit the game at level 0. Far from their strategy room, outside Iceberg Peak, Liu Chen was already waiting. His blade rested lazily over his shoulder, his posture relaxed, but his eyes were sharp. Suddenly, movement. An ambush from above. The young master and his team descended from the trees. Arrows flew from all directions. The guild members grinned. This is what happens when you mess with us mad dragons. But they were horribly wrong. Their arrows hadn't hit a human. They had hit the Night Elf Patrol Team Captain, Fark. The silence that followed was brief but thunderous. Suddenly, a message flashed, all humans are now marked as enemies by the Night Elf Patrol Team. The players looked around in confusion. What's going on? Whispered one. Dragon Reign Supreme stared wide-eyed as a deep voice thundered across the forest. Humans, you're getting bolder, Fark growled. You dare attack the Great Lord Fark? You even destroyed the new clothes my brother gave me. Another guild member shouted, It's a trap. We've been set up. The young master's face turned pale. We're doomed. We've been marked by the high-end forces of the night spirits. Still, he barked orders. Don't panic. Keep the formation. But panic had already gripped the troops. They began to scatter. Fark pointed. Wanna run? Wishful thinking. He raised his hand and slammed it down. Under resurrection. From beneath the ground, dozens of skeletal hands burst forth, grabbing the legs of every escaping player. Helpless, they fell one after another. Minions, kill them all, Fark shouted. The young master screamed, call for backup. Quickly. Fark's voice boomed. Backup? Sure. But do you think killing a few of you will ease my anger? His tone dropped. Show no mercy. Leave no one alive. Let these human trash all drop back to level 144. Get out of Night Spirit territory. Liu Kang watched from a distance, lips curled into a sly smirk. The plan to kill using a borrowed knife worked perfectly. He drifted into memory. In the past, just days ago, he had visited a village chief, holding out a tattered shirt. Village chief, do you still have this set of clothes I'm wearing? Yes, the old man replied. 1 copper coin per set. I'll take 10 sets. From there, he approached the night patrol team. You're Fark, the leader of the Night Spirit patrol team at Iceberg Bay, right? The elder of countless weak night spirits? Fark blinked. I'm actually that famous? I come from the countryside, Liu Kang said humbly. This is the best clothing I have. I hope you don't mind. Fark stared at him, softened. Young man, you have potential. He took the clothes from him. You're worthy of being Fark, Liu Kang added slyly. This rag shirt suits you. It reflects the dirtiness, the hollowness, the decay, and darkness of a night spirit. Well said, Fark agreed proudly. We night spirits are the dirtiest and most decayed race. Liu Kang pressed on. Fark, can I draw your majestic image for future admiration? Of course you can, Fark said proudly, straightening his posture. He climbed onto a branch and struck a proud pose. Is this good enough? Fark asked. Yes. Don't move, Liu Kang nodded. You keep this pose, I'll go to the tombstone to draw it. As he walked away, he whispered to himself, I hope that crazy dragon will be honest for a while after this. But then his interface flashed. The bounty list had just been updated. The very next moment, Liu Kang's lips curled into a smile. Very good, he muttered, eyes glinting. The bounty on his head had risen again. He could already imagine the scene, Dragon reigned supreme spending his money like water. Keep wasting your funds, Liu Kang thought. This way, even more experts will come challenge me, and every one of them will just become another stepping stone on my way to the top. Just then, he noticed a strange figure approaching in the distance. Dressed in tattered robes, emitting a dark aura, Liu Kang narrowed his eyes. That must be the undead swordsman Sovereign the village chief mentioned. The figure stepped forward. Why do you tread on my territory? His voice echoed, hollow and cold. Fark, still lingering nearby, bowed. Master, I came to find you for a job change. But before another word could be exchanged, the undead swordsman attacked. His blade slashed through the air, deadly direct. Die! Liu Kang's body froze. I can't dodge that. Thinking fast, he raised a folded piece of parchment. This is the introduction letter from the village chief. The swordsman paused. His cold eyes scanned the letter, then widened. From Naiwan? Liu Kang exhaled in relief. That was close. Why are these NPCs so scary? He muttered. The swordsman chuckled. To my old friend. You praised this kid a lot in the letter. Said he was indispensable. Fine, I'll trust your judgment. He looked Liu Kang up and down. From this moment on, I take you as my disciple. But remember, as an undead swordsman, you must embrace the most filthy body and the most filthy mind. Liu Kang nodded. Yes, master. I remember. Very good, the swordsman said. Before your job change, I need to simulate your talent, an exclusive one. He began casting an incantation. Strange symbols shimmered in the air. A faint purple light glowed between his fingers. The light struck Liu Kang's chest and vanished. Talent comprehended, 100 power. Liu Kang's eyes widened. Awesome. At full level, it increases damage by 50%. This is insane. The swordsman nodded approvingly. KDR potential very good. You actually awakened the highest quality, undead power. He raised his sword into the air and declared solemnly, by the name of Azura's laughter and the spirits of all realms, I grant you the qualification to become an undead swordsman. Liu Kang stepped forward. I accept. 8 chilling winds swept over him. Dark energy coiled around his limbs. He could feel his consciousness slipping. What is this? My body. It's being taken over? He clenched his teeth. How shameful. Just then, the wave of darkness passed. His limbs relaxed. I can move again, he muttered. Is the job change done? He quickly opened his status panel. All-round improvement, he whispered, impressed. I feel like my body's bursting with power, then frowned. But why am I still a skeleton? The swordsman scoffed. The path of the Azura is long and cruel. A skeleton is your essence. And from what I see, your bones are excellent. He handed Liu Kang 3 books. These skill books will help you grow faster. Lu Chen lit up. Thank you so much, master. But the swordsman raised a hand. Wait, pause. These skill books, they're priceless treasures. I'll give them at a discount, because we share fate. Lu Chen's smile faded. You want money? 1 skill book, 5 silver coins. No card payments. Cash only. Lu Chen groaned internally. I did tasks, robbed bosses, even licked blood off blade edges. I've only saved up 24 silver coins. And now you want more than half of it? He tried reasoning. Master, we're master and disciple, right? Can't you give me a discount? The swordsman's face hardened. Stop nagging. That's already cheap. He extended his hand. Give me the money. Reluctantly, Lu Chen handed it over, grumbling, why do I feel like I'm getting scammed? He opened the books. Basic swordsmanship. Death grab. Slaying blade. Nice, he said. Basic swordsmanship and slaying blade increased damage by 15%. And I already had a 20% boost from the job change. He rubbed his chin, calculating. In the Spirit Age, swordsman skills only gave flat damage boosts. But undead swordsman skills increase by percentage. That means the more my base damage rises, the more terrifying my actual damage becomes. This job is broken. He turned to his master. The best way to test skills is in real battle. Do you have any tasks for me? The swordsman laughed. Greedy kid, I like it. He handed over a scroll. Clean up the skeletons that have defected to the humans. Lu Chen grinned. Don't worry, master. I promise to complete this task. Soon after, he arrived at a graveyard. Broken tombstones, thick mist, eerie silence. Ahead stood a lone solar skeleton, level 12. Tall, hunched, glowing faintly red. Lu Chen didn't hesitate. He dashed forward and unleashed Slaying Blade. The strike was clean, brutal. 1 hit. Kill confirmed. The skeleton didn't even have time to scream. Lu Chen smirked. Changing jobs really did boost my attack power. 1 shot, 1 kill, but something strange happened. As the skeleton fell, a small flame flickered where its body had been. Huh, what's that? He approached cautiously and stabbed his sword into the flame. It didn't vanish. Instead, it entered his body. A cold sensation spread through his veins. Lu Chen's eyes widened. I can't die, but this feeling, it's amazing. He clenched his skeletal fist, and the lingering essence of the fallen skeleton condensed into a glowing orb in his palm. A soul spark? He whispered, staring into the flickering light. It pulsed like a heartbeat. Why did that feel so good? Flickers of information from the system flashed in his mind. Soul sparks, remnants of the undead, containing latent energy. They could be absorbed or refined. Lu Chen's grin widened. Another way to grow stronger. He didn't waste time. Marching toward a lone death soldier, he activated Death Grasp. The shadowy claw lashed out, clutching the enemy and draining its essence. Lu Chen furrowed his brows. What extra effects can this skill give? The corpse crumbled, and all he found was a tattered cloth. He held it up, unimpressed. Useless garbage. Tossing it aside, he muttered, there's no way all these skeletons are broke. He darted forward again, more enemies, more loot. Skeletons crumbled under his blade like brittle twigs. One by one, he cut them down. Just when he was slicing through another group, a skeleton twisted its head a full 180 degrees, unnaturally. Before Lu Chen could react, the skeleton launched a skill, Wind Blade. Lu Chen's eyes widened. It can use skills? He narrowly avoided the attack. The gust nicked his ribs, but he was already behind it. Flawed movement, messy casting, he muttered. With one clean arc of his blade, he bisected the skeleton. It collapsed instantly. He took a step back, surrounded by bones and dust, breathing heavily. That's 50 down. He checked his inventory. 10 skeleton fingers collected. A familiar chime rang in his mind. Level up, level 11. He chuckled. Nice. A small magic stone materialized from the corpse, faintly glowing. He pocketed it and looked around. The fog had thickened, but something was off. The land no longer looked like necropolis. Towering tombstones surrounded him, some the height of houses. Their inscriptions glowed faintly red. He read the nearest one, King Goose's burial site. Wait, did I enter a new zone? He whispered. Just then, the ground trembled. A massive skeleton, draped in ruined armor and wearing a crooked crown, rose from behind a tombstone. A name tag hovered above her, Queen Bee's skeleton, mini-boss. Lu Chen froze. A giant undead? That's a mini-boss. The creature's jaw cracked as it snarled. Where did this wretched little skeleton come from? You dare intrude upon royal grounds. Without waiting for a reply, she attacked. Lu Chen backflipped, barely dodging the incoming strike. What the she's slow. He observed her movement, compared it to the earlier soldiers. Then it clicked. System notification. Giants possess low individual combat ability. They rely on group synergy and territorial dominance. Oh no, Lu Chen's gaze snapped to the horizon. Dozens, no, hundreds, of towering skeletons emerged from behind the tombstones. He swallowed hard. So I've stirred a hornet's nest. Brothers, one of the giants roared. Crush him. Kill the intruder. Their footsteps shook the ground as they charged. Lu Chen gritted his teeth, brandishing his sword. Impressive strength. But the first swing clashed with his blade, jolting his bones, but he held steady. Still too weak. He leaped through a gap beneath their legs, tucking into a roll. Bones clattered as they turned, shouting, "Overwhelm him!" But Lu Chen kept moving, darting between tombstones, slipping into shadows. His breath rattled. There's too many. One giant's foot landed inches from his head. No cover left, he hissed. Then he saw it. A giant tombstone. Cracked, heavy, towering above him like a fallen pillar of fate. He rushed to it. Lend me your power. Bracing his back and weapon against it, he shoved. The tombstone groaned. The earth trembled. The giants turned. What's he doing? The tombstone crashed down, smashing one of the giants to pieces. Lu Chen smirked, standing atop the rubble. All right, time to retreat. But something was wrong. A chill deeper than before swept across the graveyard. The remaining giants all froze and knelt. From the shadows, a regal figure emerged, robes of dark mist, a towering bone crown upon her head. Her presence alone warped the air. She slowly bent down, and with one hand lifted the shattered tombstone off the crushed giant's remains. Lu Chen's jaw dropped. That's the boss. Her empty eye sockets burned with blue flame. She glared at him. By what audacity does a mere vagrant dare harm my subjects? She pointed, her voice shaking the graveyard. Apprehend him. And then she hissed, a command heavy with spite and power. Perish, you insignificant vermin. Lu Chen's heart, if he had one, would have stopped. She was overpowering him. That much was obvious. System alert, unknown level, estimated 20+ levels above you. Shit, he whispered. Surrounded by Wingu skeletons, cut off from the edge of the zone, and now this boss. What do you mean escape? He swung his execution blade desperately. Sparks flew, his strike barely scratched their bone armor. They're too strong, he muttered, dodging an incoming blow. The skeletal queen's voice echoed through the burial ground. Accept your fate, vermin. An aura of dread surged as she slowly sank back into the massive tombstone. Lu Chen backed away, eyes locked on her. Terrifying power, but wait, he glanced at the direction she disappeared to. That tombstone. It's the entrance to Hanbing burial. She spoke again from within, voice muffled but wrathful. Any last words? He scoffed. Who are you trying to scare with a broken rock? You think you're some emperor? There was a pause. Good, she hissed. Then perish. The tombstone groaned and began to shift, falling toward him. But Lu Chen was already gone. He slammed his blade into a nearby tombstone, launching himself into the air. Thanks for falling for it, he whispered, sailing above the chaos. The other skeletons shouted. She flew. What are you waiting for? Seize her. One ran after him, but Lu Chen had already made it to the necropolis border. There, on an ancient tombstone, he carved, thanks to the Leech Lord for the generous gift. Your buddy. A few skeletons stumbled upon the message. The handwriting's really neat, one said. Yeah, and that heart symbol is a nice touch, another added. But a shrill voice cut them off. You idiots. None of you caught him. A skeletal girl stormed into view. The others dropped their heads. Forgive us, my lord. Track him. Find him. And kill him, she ordered. Meanwhile, Lu Chen was already back at the undead swordsman's chamber. He dropped a sack onto the ground. Master, here, 10 skeleton fingers, just like you asked. The old undead looked pleased. Well done. Plus 1,200 experience gained level up. Level 12 Lu Chen grinned. Another dark stone gear. One step closer to a full set. His stats had increased. Not enough to challenge the undead lord, but enough to start grinding Wingu skeletons for real. The swordsman asked, have you encountered the Kubu skeletons, or the underlord himself? Chen nodded. Yeah. I almost didn't make it out alive. The swordsman turned serious. Since you survived, the next mission is yours. The undead lord is preparing to raise a massive army to attack Hanbing burial. Lu Chen's eyes lit up. The mission rank, it's a jump from F+ to E+, he exclaimed. The swordsman chuckled. Adventurers like us don't fear death, we chase fortune. As long as the undead lord doesn't absorb your soul ember, you'll be safe. That caught Lu Chen's attention. Master, what exactly is a soul ember? In reply, the swordsman summoned a small violet flame in his palm. This is the essence of the undead. He leaned closer. Listen well. The Nocturnals are divided into 4 ancient clans. Together, they rule the dark. The underclan, ours, is the most numerous. Then there's the Zongshur, physically invincible. The Dark Elves, magic incarnate. and the with completely immune to physical damage. Lu Chen frowned. We're the most numerous, but doesn't that make us the weakest? The swordsman grinned. Foolish thought. Only the underclan can absorb soul embers to evolve without limits. That alone makes us the strongest. Unlimited evolution. Lu Chen's eyes gleamed. That sounds incredible. But remember, the swordsman warned, his tone darkening, absorb carelessly and you'll fall into the wisp realm. You'll be exiled from this world forever. Lu Chen stiffened. Wait, exile? Not account deletion, right? The old swordsman said nothing. His silence was answer enough. This is the essence of the underclan, he said at last. We evolve, or we are absorbed. Survival demands conquest. Far away, deep within the Wingu catacombs, the queen stood atop a pile of tombstones. Around her, hundreds of undead bowed in reverence. Our soldiers, our generals, our kings, she said coldly. All shall rise. All shall continue. Until we ascend. Her skeletal hands stretched to the sky. To become equals of the divine. The winds howled. The Azura, rulers of all nocturnals, shall return. As is the path of constant evolution. For the undead, it is our glory. Swordsman's voice, though grim and aged, held quiet conviction as he placed a hand on Lu Chen's shoulder. I may no longer have the strength, but you do. You will succeed where I failed, kid. Lu Chen nodded silently, then stepped away, blades ready. All right, I'll keep hunting the Quingu skeletons. Be careful, Swordsman warned. You are the hope of our king and mine. At the edge of the Wingu patrol border, a skeletal unit looked skyward as a dark feathered messenger bird soared overhead. It's always flying upward, one skeleton muttered. Is there something above the tombstone? Another scoffed. Too tall. Who could get up there? Probably just another bird. Hidden high above in the shadows of the tomb spire, Lu Chen crouched silently, observing. That was close, but let's see what they're up to. He'd been watching them for 30 minutes, memorizing routes and rotations. 8 patrol teams, 5 main squads, and a single messenger bird. That one must die before it alerts the others. He tapped the blade hilt. And the 9th patrol. Every 10 minutes 2 teams meet. If I trigger a fight, I'll be on a countdown. If even half survive, the alarm will sound. Mess this up and I'll be surrounded. His eyes narrowed. So, let's begin. He launched from above like a shadow split from the tombstone itself. The first 2 skeletons didn't even scream, both cut in a single, clean slash. Ambush, the others cried out. It's using a skill. Too late. Execution blade. A flash of red burst through the air, cleaving through bone and magic alike. I need to be faster, Lu Chen muttered, checking the loot. Only one finger again. Drop rate is brutal. A minute ticked past. He bolted ahead, cutting across the patrol path to intercept the next wave. 7 minutes left until the next patrol team appears. Can I end every battle in 60 seconds? He had to find out. Elsewhere, chaos stirred. What happened? A Wingu captain snarled. All 8 teams were wiped? If we hadn't challenged our patrol routes, we'd have never noticed, one said bitterly. Should we report? Don't bother. That kid already cost us our dignity. If the master hears of this, he'll dismantle us, limb by limb. Understood. Double the patrol teams. Equip every unit with 4 messenger birds. Expand the search area. He must not escape. By now, Lu Chen had slaughtered 40 Quingu skeletons out of the required 200. In his palm were just 4 fingers. He exhaled slowly. All of the fingered skeletons in the outskirts, wiped out. Yet the mission is far from complete. He looked into the valley below, the shadowed depths of the inner necropolis. Only one way now. I have to go deeper. Level up. Level 13, after 40 kills. I should hit level 15 when I'm done. But still, he glanced at the leaderboard. Current rank, 125. I've always been in the top 100, always. His voice tightened. Now I'm 125th? No way. That guy must be leveling like a maniac. Just then, a presence made him freeze. A towering figure emerged from the mist, its armor cracked and blade humming with dark aura. Not one of the regular skeletons. Level 18, elite Wingu Nightblade. It stood directly in his path. Lu Chen's grip tightened. No time to hesitate now, he whispered. The next clash would determine not just his mission, but his place in this undead world. 50,000 gold. That was the exact bounty. And yet, Lu Chen hadn't expected to meet him here. Orion stood firm across the dust-laced battlefield, armored in midnight iron, his aura thick with calm aggression. But Lu Chen wasn't rattled. That bounty wasn't easily earned for a reason. If anything, Orion's smirk showed approval. A hunt without resistance was no hunt at all. Both surged forward, blades out, wills locked. The first exchange came fast. Lu Chen's movement flowed like wind. He evaded the strike and delivered a clean counter. A shallow cut, but precision mattered more than damage. Still, he wasn't alone. Another strike, lighter yet sharper, caught his side. Odin had joined in, subtle, efficient. Reaction speed, slightly inferior to his own. But the difference? Defense. The Undead Knight class had absurd resilience. Lu Chen's strikes made impact, but didn't leave wounds. A brief pause. Then another clash. Where encircled, amused, Lu Chen pushed in again, finding a rhythm, but it was suddenly shattered. A precise disarm. His spear torn from grasp in a flicker of steel. Orion moved with terrifying timing. Not flawless, but calculated. Lu Chen countered. A quick burst, execution blade. A cleave through air, a hint of energy exploding forward. It made contact, but Orion barely staggered. He retaliated instantly, channeling Azure Thrust. The force came fast, true to its name, a piercing tide of deep blue energy lunging forward. Lu Chen dodged barely. Not bad, but too slow, he almost thought, until pain erupted in his skull like fire. Something cracked in his mind. Vision twisted. Blood rushed. His balance failed. A blink later, Orion was already midair. Blade high. No mercy. Lu Chen barely raised his sword in time, catching the attack head-on. Metal clanged. He was launched backward, crashing through tombstones, coughing dust. And worse, his sword was no longer in hand. Across the clearing, Orion lowered his weapon. It was over, or so he thought. He even activated the kill recorder. Kill logs didn't count unless confirmed. That alone spared Lu Chen. For now. But something else stirred. A leaf, light and aimless, drifted down in front of him. His body moved on instinct, blade or not. A swipe cut through the falling leaf in 4 clean segments. He froze. Reaction time reduced by 0. His smile returned. Perfect. He needed a test subject. And the number 1 ranked player was standing right there. No weapon? No matter. Round 2 was about to begin. Orion turned, expression amused at first, but then narrowed as he realized Lu Chen wasn't done. A guy without a sword still dared to be arrogant? This fight was far from over. Lu Chen stood tall, unarmed and unshaken. He glanced at his fingers and raised only 2. That was all he needed. His voice was calm, almost mocking, as he declared that just 2 fingers were enough to deal with both of them. The provocation landed hard. Uen's face twisted in rage. He launched forward without hesitation, fury driving his blade, roaring about the insult. The clash came fast. Lu Chen didn't flinch. He didn't even step back. He simply lifted his pinky finger. One small motion. The attack shattered against it like glass against steel. No strain. No effort. Only calm precision. The counter wasn't a strike, but a statement. Orion, watching from the side, narrowed his eyes. It didn't make sense. His partner's full-speed charge had just been neutralized by a flick of a finger. He couldn't believe it. He tried it himself, spear flowing in continuous strikes, arcing from every direction. But Lu Chen deflected all of it with a single finger, again and again, as if swatting away leaves in the wind. It was humiliating. Orion's pride bled through his voice. Skill was more than blocking common strikes. He'd show him real technique. A horizontal sweep tore through the air with his long spear, wide and fast. But Lu Chen didn't block. He stepped aside, gracefully, effortlessly. Not even his robe shifted. The spear passed through where he had been, but he was already gone. And then he was back. Orion was still trying to understand what just happened when Lu Chen took advantage of the hesitation. He closed the distance and yanked the spear from Orion's hand like pulling a tooth from a child. A single fluid motion, and now both were weaponless. Orion realized his mistake too late. Lu Chen grinned and said it outright. The roles had reversed. Orion didn't back down. His shattered weapon wasn't his only tool. Ghost armor activated. His body glowed with spectral defense, a barrier that had blocked even greater attacks in past fights. Lu Chen struck the barrier, but it didn't crack. He stepped back, assessing. It was indeed tough. Too tough for a normal assault. Just then, Orion unleashed his backup weapon. A massive energy blast engulfed the space between them. The area shook. For a moment, it looked like he had landed a decisive blow. But through the smoke, Lu Chen walked out. Unburned. Unbroken. Unbelievable. His voice was quiet but cutting. Got rid of me? You're far from. In the counter. A direct strike. Dark fire thrust. It should have finished the fight, but it passed through Orion again. No damage. Orion reeled. Too many questions clouded his mind. Lu Chen didn't give him space to think. Strike after strike landed with clinical precision. And this time, Orion felt it. His armor had weakened. The cooldown period of his skill had made him vulnerable. 106 damage from a single light strike. That was a death sentence. Lu Chen saw the window and acted instantly. His ultimate skill surged, blades of dark fire and shadow closing in. Orion's screen flickered, logged out, just like that. Back in the real world, Orion stared at his screen. His pride was wounded far more than his character. A deception? He muttered. Not even a 0. 5-second delay should have missed what happened. He opened the recording and went frame by frame. Then he saw it. Lu Chen had dodged in a fraction of a second, then returned to his original position before the eye could register it. It created the illusion that Orion's spear had passed through him. A feint executed at such speed, even elite players couldn't replicate it. Only legends could. Only names like Candlelight Chaos or Fallen Dust had that level of control. Orion clenched his jaw. They couldn't let someone like that slip away. Not again. He logged back into the game, vengeance already burning. He muttered to himself, frustration creeping into his tone. Where is he? Did he log off? Maybe he just went to do quests. But he shook his head. It didn't matter. Not really. If Lu Chen was still in known places like the Cold Ice Bridge or the Big Graveyard, then Orion would find him. And when he did, there would be no running. Elsewhere, in the heart of the graveyard, Lu Chen sneezed. Twice. He paused, wiping his nose. Do I have a cold? Or is someone talking about me behind my back? The irritation lingered. He wasn't one to believe in superstition, but the timing was uncanny. His head turned toward the distant whispers of skeleton soldiers, chattering like bored workers on overtime. One muttered about missing a date with the pink skeleton lady, another sighed about being stuck in graveyard patrol, grumbling that at least he wasn't alone like some single dog. The banter turned to mockery, as one cracked a joke about weaklings hiding when they're outnumbered. Then the mocking stopped. In a flash, a figure darted from the shadows and split one of them clean in half. The skeleton barely had time to scream. Lu Chen's blade was ruthless. Single dog? He echoed with a grin. I'm just avoiding unnecessary attachments. Besides, calling me unfit? You jerks don't even have muscles. The skeletal guards recoiled in horror. One of them shouted, recognizing him. It's him! The one Lord Chu once captured, Lu Chen of the orderly patrol team. In panic, they released messenger crows. Feathers scattered into the sky. Lu Chen clicked his tongue. They're spreading alerts. No way to intercept those signals. Another wave surged toward him, swords raised, screeching through the cold mist. Lu Chen moved like a whisper in a hurricane, weaving through every attack with the precision of a machine and the grace of a dancer. Slashes missed him by inches, attacks clashed with air. One by one, they fell, crushed before backup could arrive. In seconds, the field was silent. Lu Chen looked around, slightly disappointed. I hope reinforcements show up soon. Waiting alone is boring. He walked off calmly, leaving the wreckage of bones and broken blades behind. The news of the ambush traveled fast. The 16th patrol team was gone. Obliterated. Chaos stirred among the undead ranks. Every remaining team scrambled toward the site, trying to catch the elusive invader. Elsewhere, the scene shifted again. A skeleton commander stood surrounded by corpses. His unit, his loyal guards, were now only shattered remains on the ground. He scanned the ruins in disbelief. Who did this? A shadow answered. Lu Chen walked forward, calm as ever. Still haven't regained my original speed or accuracy, he muttered to himself. And yet, there's still trash left lying around. The commander clenched his fists. Weren't you supposed to be patrolling the eastern side of the graveyard? Your backup was too slow, Lu Chen replied. I had to come to you. There was no more talk. The skeleton charged with fury, but Lu Chen didn't even flinch. His sword glimmered once, and then the commander's skull hit the ground. One clean strike. Over in a breath. Lu Chen exhaled. His mission was nearly done. Green bone skeleton. I'm barely trying anymore. In 0.2 seconds, he'd moved on. A flash of light, a trail of dust, and the sound of crunching gravel. He was already thinking about the next step. Blackstone quest reward. Wonder what I'll get. Maybe a pair of arm guards? After completing the final objective, he approached the quest exchange point. His weapon, however, had seen better days. A crack ran along the hilt, too fine for the eye to notice at first glance, but enough for Lu Chen to feel the instability in every swing. He'd have to fix it soon. Just as he prepared to move again, something odd broke the silence. Crying. He stopped. A faint, trembling sound floated through the fog. Not mechanical, not undead, human, or something close to it. A voice, barely audible, lost among the gravestones. From the ridge ahead, he spotted 4 soldiers marching in sync, each shouldering the corner of a tomb. At the front, one of them murmured solemnly, "Only 500 years old, left so young, even lost your head." Lu Chen stopped in his tracks. A fallen member of the patrol team? Headless? This smells like a hidden mission. He moved closer, and his suspicions were confirmed. Among them stood the undead Captain Fag, familiar and grim. Lu Chen called out, "Captain Fag, what's going on?" The skeleton turned, his hollow eye sockets glowing faintly. "It's been a while, little brother. Something terrible happened. My brother Shaq, a top-tier scout, was ambushed on the icy path by Iron Black Bear. I found his body, but the head's missing." Lu Chen clenched his fists. "Despicable. Patrol teams carry the burden of Ice Ridge's safety. We can't let this pass." Captain Fag nodded, eyes burning. "We battle team members don't retreat. Avenge him." "Iron Black Bear," Lu Chen muttered, living happily atop the ice ridge, unaware he's next. "I'll retrieve Shaq's head, even if I have to break through his iron hide." Captain Fag's bones creaked as he gave a solemn salute. "I trust you, Lu Chen. The future rests on your shoulders now." Mission accepted. Lu Chen didn't waste time. "Before I leave, I need to repair my gear. Can't take risks with damaged equipment." Captain Fag pointed. "There's a Death Forge workshop 500 meters east. Try there." Lu Chen nodded and sprinted off. Soon, a towering structure came into view, half the size of a fortress, crowned with a massive skull embedded into the facade. Crimson flames flickered from its eyes and gaping mouth. "This is the Death Forge workshop." He stepped inside and was surprised to see a familiar face, the village chief. "You're doing blacksmith work now?" Lu Chen asked. The old skeleton chuckled. "I have many skills, my friend. Long time no see. Will it be enhance, reinforce, repair, or dismantle?" "Repair," Lu Chen said. "But can you handle it?" The chief flexed what passed for bony biceps and grinned. "Don't doubt me, boy. Just 3 pieces? Child's play." Lu Chen handed over the gear. The chief lit the forge and began hammering, each strike echoing with power. Sparks flew. The scent of molten metal and old magic filled the air. "Watch closely," the old man instructed. "First you strike, then refine." Lu Chen observed every move, awed by the precision. As the final strike landed, a small explosion of flames sealed the process. "Done," the chief said proudly. Lu Chen unsheathed his newly repaired sword. Smooth, balanced, perfect. "Impressive. Good as new." "1 silver coin," the chief said. "On the house today." Lu Chen smiled, bowed slightly and turned to leave. "Thanks, chief. Time to hunt." With 45 minutes left, he made his way toward the icy path. The place was just as he remembered. Wind slicing across frostbitten stone, a faint mist rolling in like a veil. On the left, the ghostly weathered forest loomed, but his eyes were fixed ahead. He scanned the ridge. "Where's the bear?" He raised his voice. "Hey, Iron Black Bear." No response. Then the ground shook. Heavy footsteps thundered from behind the ridge. A towering beast emerged, over 3 meters tall, its body wrapped in dense iron-like fur. A level 20 monster. Its red eyes glared down at Lu Chen like a predator sizing up an insect. Lu Chen tensed. "It's huge." The bear growled, a sound that seemed to vibrate through the bones. Lu Chen realized the beast wasn't taking him seriously. "You don't even see me as a threat?" His hand tightened around his sword. "Since that's the case," he roared, "I'll take your head myself." He dashed forward, his blade slashing across the bear's chest. Sparks flew, but no blood. The strike barely left a mark. "Its natural armor is too strong. My attacks aren't even penetrating." The bear roared and swung its paw. Lu Chen leapt to the side, but the attack clipped him midair, sending him crashing into a tree. Bark splintered as he hit the trunk hard. Pain shot through his ribs. Damn careless. How could something that killed a stealth scout be anything but a monster? He groaned. This thing's defense might rival Orion's. This is no joke. The bear lunged again. Lu Chen rolled and shouted, "Big stupid bear. Come here." He needed to find a weakness. As they clashed again, Lu Chen observed its movements, how the armor plates on the back shifted, how the belly wobbled slightly with each step. Then it clicked. The belly. It's not armored. The next moment, he let the bear charge. As it lifted its massive arms to slam down, Lu Chen slid beneath it and slashed straight into the soft underbelly. A howl ripped through the valley. Massive damage. Lu Chen grinned. As expected, compared to your iron-plated back, your stomach is as vulnerable as tofu. The bear staggered back, then stood on two legs, its roar loud enough to shake icicles loose from nearby cliffs. Lu Chen pointed his sword. "I've found your weakness. Now I'll send you off for good." But before he could finish the move, the bear twisted, and a hidden shell-like appendage slammed into him with brutal force. He flew backward again. He hit the ground, dazed, blinking through the pain. How is this even possible? Lu Chen swiftly dodged the attack, muttering about the danger and a sense of déjà vu. He shouted a challenge and swung his sword towards the incoming bear, which was rolling rapidly. The impact was incredibly strong. He then yelled at the bear to get off him. He thought that the bear's spinning technique not only amplified its impact but also enhanced its defense, making him too passive if this continued. He resolved not to let it curl into a ball again. Just as the bear turned, a good opportunity arose for Lu Chen to strike. He deftly avoided the bear's next attack, announcing that its turn was over and it was now his. He landed a critical hit on its neck. The bear roared in rage and countered Lu Chen's attack with surprising speed. Lu Chen noted the bear's continued attempt to curl into a ball. He scoffed, calling it wishful thinking, and declared that he had already figured out how to stop it. He explained that he just needed to hit the center of its spine precisely, and then it wouldn't be able to curl up again. He then landed another critical blow on the bear. Despite the severe injury, the bear still managed to stand. Lu Chen expressed his surprise at its stubbornness, acknowledging that even with a severely injured spine, it could still get up and want to fight back. He then cursed the stupid bear and delivered a final critical hit to its eye, killing it. A substantial amount of loot appeared. Lu Chen had leveled up and acquired a magic stone, leg guards, and a mask. He remarked on the generosity of the Iron Bear's rewards. He decided to put on the leg guards first, noting that leather armor, while lacking the defense of plate armor, offered a good boost in agility. He examined the bearskin leg guards, which provided physical defense +7, magic resistance +6, and agility +2, requiring level 15. Conveniently, Lu Chen was also at level 15. He then examined the mask, stating that it was super useful as it could disguise him. He believed that with it, he could leave the Frost Ridge shack unnoticed. He recalled the description of the disguise mask, mentioning how the patrol scout of the shack used it to conceal his skeletal face with a cloak, allowing him to perfectly blend into human camps. Lu Chen returned to Captain Fak and announced his intention to turn in the quest. Captain Fak, seeing both quest items, expressed his delight, saying it was perfect that Lu Chen had them both as he could turn in both quests at once, saving him the trouble of running back and forth. Captain Fak then shared that he had known swordsmen for over 500 years and that they often played chess together. Lu Chen presented the shack skull to Captain Fak, who confirmed it was indeed the exact item. Lu Chen then presented the green bones skeletal fingers. Swordsman congratulated him, telling him he had done well and to take his reward. Lu Chen leveled up to 16. He remarked that he now needed boots and arm guards to complete his gear. However, a new problem arose. He approached the swords master and explained that the quest reward, the first strategist weapon, was something he couldn't use. The swords master stated that quest rewards were non-refundable but suggested trying his luck at the human trading market at Ice Bridge, cautioning that they didn't welcome night spirits. Lu Chen mused that the lack of welcome for night spirits wouldn't be a problem, as he could simply use his disguise mask. He mentally affirmed that the disguise mask worked perfectly, noting that no one had noticed him from start to finish. He then put on a pair of porcupine boots, feeling that he had hit the jackpot with this item. Suddenly, an assassin attacked him. Lu Chen reacted swiftly, asking who was there. The assassin, recognizing Lu Chen's quick reflexes, commented that his reaction was just as quick as Little White. Lu Chen parried his sneak attack. Wu Chen then asked him to wait a minute and stated that he didn't know who the assassin was talking about, suggesting he must be mistaken. He pondered how Kong Long Ao Jiu from Kong Long Guild had exposed him. The assassin then revealed the reason. Even though Lu Chen was wearing a mask and hiding his ID, his green blade was too recognizable, as he was the only one in the entire city who possessed it. Lu Chen mentally cursed, realizing he had forgotten about the green blade. The assassin, declaring the 50,000 bounty criminal Undying as the masked guy, swore on the honor of the Kong Long Guild. Lu Chen then retorted that the assassin was pulling this trick. The assassin, undeterred, stated that if the trick worked, no one cared how he played. Everyone around began to converge on Lu Qin, drawn by the prospect of the 50,000 coins and the Blackstone gear. The assassin, facing Lu Qin, commanded him to prepare to face death. Lu Qin confidently challenged the assassin, questioning whether he and the other merchant players truly believed they could defeat him. The assassin, recognizing Lu Qin's impending move, saw him pull out a special item. Lu Qin then made a swift retreat, simply stating, "Goodbye." The assassin cursed, realizing Lu Qin had tricked him. He surmised that Lu Qin was likely heading to the Frost Ridge and resolved to intercept him. He contacted someone on his communication device, instructing them to gather the first and second battle squads to ambush Lu Qin in the outer canyon. However, the person on the other end reported that all their battle squads were currently mobilized because Wind Fantasy had just blown up their headquarters, and the guild leader was leading all the battle squads to hunt her down. The assassin expressed his frustration, realizing they were now dealing with both Undying, Lu Qin, and Wind Fantasy. He instructed his comrades to handle Wind Fantasy while he would personally deal with Undying. Meanwhile, in the Frost Path Pine Forest, Lu Qin thought that once he traversed the forest, he would reach the safe zone of Frost Ridge. Just as he was about to cross it, the assassin attacked him again. Lu Qin expressed his annoyance, comparing the assassin to some kind of sticky plaster for relentlessly chasing him. The assassin declared that Lu Qin's continued survival was damaging the Konglong Guild's reputation, and therefore he must die. Lu Qin challenged him, asking if he was alone. The assassin again anticipated Lu Qin's use of a skill. This time, it was a slash that the assassin deftly dodged, admitting it was a close call. Lu Qin then pondered why the assassin was still there, questioning who was behind him. It turned out to be Odian Orin from the Third Pen. The assassin, recognizing Orion's green long sword, simply stated, "It's you, Undying. Long time no see." The fight then began. Lu Qin mentally cursed the appearance of another annoying guy. Orion proclaimed he had missed Undying so much. Lu Qin retorted, telling him to stay away, as he had no desire to see him. But Orion attacked him, thinking that this was a perfect opportunity to hold a grudge. He proposed to Orion that they team up to take down Undying. Orion, however, curtly told him to get lost. The assassin, confused, wondered why Orion, an enemy, would refuse. Orion explained that a duel between the strong doesn't require the cooperation of the weak. With that, the assassin was killed by Orion. As he vanished, he cursed, declaring that the Konglong Guild wouldn't let Orion off. Orion scoffed at the Konglong Guild's threat, dismissing it as a joke. He then turned to Lu Qin, announcing that the annoying bug was gone and they could continue their fight. Lu Qin, annoyed, questioned who wanted to fight him, calling Orion annoying. Orion, surprised, acknowledged that Lu Qin had already reached level 15 and even understood human language, concluding that Lu Qin must be even stronger now. Lu Qin noted that Orion's speed had increased, and he needed to end this quickly. He closed in on Orion, who was taken aback by Lu Qin's swiftness. Lu Qin dealt a high amount of damage, followed by another critical hit. Orion didn't even have time to react before he received a kick that sent him flying into a tree. Orion internally questioned why. Despite putting all 3 of his points into agility, it was still not enough. Just then, Lu Qin closed in on him again. Orion, in panic, shouted to Lu. But before he could finish, Lu Qin killed him. Lu Qin effortlessly retreated, but to his surprise, Orion was immediately resurrected. Lu Qin realized Orion had revived incredibly fast and pondered whether he should continue fighting. Orion, impressed, remarked that Lu Qin had killed him instantly for the second time, acknowledging Lu Qin's strength. He then asked Lu Qin if he was secretly a Hall of Fame player using a smurf account. Lu Qin, realizing his identity had been exposed, retorted that he didn't need to be a Hall of Fame player to defeat Orion. Orion, however, insisted, claiming that only Zhu Yingwan from the Hall of Fame possessed the ability to create visual illusions, dodge an attack in an instant, and immediately return to the original position. Lu Qin maintained that he was not Zhu Yingwan and wasn't even considered a Hall of Fame member at that moment. Orion found this impossible to believe, stating there was no way he would lose to a nameless, lower-level player with weaker gear unless that player was indeed from the Hall of Fame. Lu Qin mused on the idea of impossible, recalling a past scene from the backstage of the War Unrivaled tournament. Others were discussing who would win the finals, mentioning Zhu Yingwan, a Hall of Fame member at max level with a full set of divine gear and the only super divine weapon, Crimson Flame Demon. They contrasted him with Elchin, a rookie from another game who wasn't even at max level and only possessed one divine sword, suggesting he had just been lucky to make it to the finals and had no chance against Zhuing Wan. In that past moment, Luchin himself had silently repeated, "Impossible." But then, a voice announced, "Let's congratulate Luchin for defeating the martial god Zhuing Wan." Luchin in the present then declared that nothing is impossible. Orion, confused, asked what he meant. Luchin questioned whether everything was truly defined by gear and level. Orion remained perplexed. Luchin continued, suggesting that the game wasn't just about leveling up and grinding monsters to become unbeatable, as his true opponents were other players. He asserted that if one lacked the determination to keep fighting, they might as well quit. Orion, indignant, demanded what made Luchin think he lacked the will to keep fighting. Luchin retorted by asking if someone who lost to a lower-tier opponent and then used the excuse of their opponent being a Hall of Fame member to justify it, and in the end, even got angry out of embarrassment, truly possessed such determination. Luchin then continued walking, leaving Orion fuming in embarrassment. Orion called out to him, saying he wouldn't go, claiming he had lost because he was in a bad condition. Luchin internally noted Orion's stubbornness. Orion further continued, stating that he wouldn't give up and would definitely defeat Undying, even if he was Zhuing Wan. Luchin replied that he looked forward to that day but advised Orion to watch the replay, adding that his condition was indeed terrible and his performance was awful. This last line struck Orion deeply. Later, at his house, Orion, holding a trashy second-hand helmet with slow transmission speed, muttered about thoroughly loading in. He decided to watch the battle replay to determine if he was truly that bad or if it was just a matter of bad condition. As he watched, he exclaimed, "Am I an idiot?" He realized he had finished off a wild monster with only 1/3 of his health left and then charged in during the Ghost Aura's most weak state. He understood that putting all his points into agility had given him low bonuses and he couldn't even catch up. It was a complete waste. As a knight, he realized he should focus on health and defense stats. The more he analyzed, the more he realized that Undying was not even human. On a whiteboard, he meticulously wrote something, stating, "No details missed." He noted that in an all-out attack, he could deal maximum damage, but his openings were also the biggest. He theorized that if a monster caught him, he wouldn't die, but against a pro like Undying, he would be wiped out in one combo. He concluded that to defeat him, he could only rely on a defensive, counterattacking, turtle strategy and wait for Luchin to reveal his weakness, believing this plan would definitely work. The scene then shifted to the Frost Ridge residential area, a resting place for the Night Spirit race, where resting in a coffin effectively reduced fatigue for Night Spirit warriors. Luchin, feeling exhausted after another all-nighter, entered a coffin, preparing to drift off to sleep. Just then, Orion attacked him from behind, declaring that Luchin wouldn't get away. Luchin, surprised, questioned his sanity, reminding him that attacking someone in their coffin would bring divine retribution. Orion stated that he had studied the video and found a way to beat Luchin, confident that he wouldn't lose this time. Luchin, contemplating Orion's claim, thought, "You think just watching the video will let you see through me?" He then challenged him to give it a try. They both charged at each other. Luchin successfully killed him, noting that Orion had actually found the right defensive counterattack strategy but still fell short in the end. Just then, Orion respawned, stating that he had lost again at 18 minutes. He continued to lose several more times. Luchin eventually grew exasperated, asking if he was freaking done yet. Orion, oblivious, simply told him to snap out of it. Luchin retorted that he wasn't Orion's free sparring partner and asked what price Orion was willing to pay if he wanted to continue fighting. Luchin, in a thorny graveyard, conversed with his companion, Sishun, who was only at level 10. He expressed his surprise at Sishuan's slow progress, noting that he was about to hit level 20. Sishun retorted that not everyone was a monster like Luchin. Luchin offered to transfer some money to Sishun so he could acquire gear and red potions to level up faster. Sishun gratefully acknowledged Luchin's generosity, promising to continue gathering intelligence in Frost Ice City for him. Luchin praised him. While talking, Luchin was fighting a skeleton. As he dealt a blow, he also received a backlash due to the skeleton's 5% damage reflection from its Desperate Struggle ability. He finally reached level 20. He reflected on the intense competition in Frost City, noting that despite being level 20, he wasn't even in the top 10. He observed that Wind Fantasy and Bossy Dominator held significant power, with 4 in the top 10 and 9 in the top 20, indicating that Dominator was one of the biggest guilds. He realized that for the future of ancient god Dream Souls, he needed Sishun to investigate this further. Suddenly, Lu Chen felt a strange sensation. The system indicated his power and hunger levels had dropped to 20%, and his body felt weakened. He exclaimed that he had completely forgotten about this. He realized he hadn't eaten anything since coming online. He cursed, fearing he would be the first player to starve to death. Desperate, he declared he no longer cared and began to eat grass from the ground, finding it disgusting. Just then, a young girl appeared, asking what her big brother was doing. Lu Chen thought it sounded like a girl and quickly put on his mask. It was Xingran, a human NPC. She asked if he was hungry, offering him some oatmeal bread her mom had made, assuring him it was delicious. Lu Chen thanked her, turned around, and ate the bread. His hunger level immediately normalized. He was amazed that one piece of bread had resolved everything. With newfound strength, he easily broke a whole tree with a single punch. The girl praised his amazing feat. He credited Xingran's bread for his renewed energy and offered her a coin for it. The girl, however, said that one bread didn't cost that much. Lu Chen, noticing her refusal of money, suspected a hidden quest. He asked if there was anything he could help her with. The girl declined, but then explained that her mom was sick and the doctor said only white mushrooms from the nearby dangerous area could cure her. Lu Chen inwardly noted that this area was near Frost Ridge, where terrifying night spirits roamed, and he wondered if she was handling it on her own. He then offered to help solve it alone. The girl confessed that night spirits were scary, but for her mom, she wasn't afraid. She added that she was strong and only needed to collect white mushrooms for a month, and her mom would recover. Lu Chen thought, 1 month? A long-term mission with great rewards. A quest had fallen right into his lap. He decided to test it out. He praised her bravery and proposed a deal. For the next month, she would bring him a piece of bread every day, and he would provide the silver coin for the flour. She agreed, saying, "Okay, big brother, see you tomorrow." Lu Chen thought, 1 month waiting. This NPC is interesting. Meanwhile, Orion received a new quest list. His tasks included killing a wild boar king, buying a spear, refilling red potions, a midnight duel with Undying, and grinding for experience and leveling up. He decided to stock up first, then go for the boss. Suddenly, he was attacked. Orion shouted, "Who?" It was the assassin from before. The assassin declared that the Konglong Guild wouldn't let him go. Orion, enraged, told him he was asking for death and attacked the assassin's team. However, their tank blocked his attack and archers shot arrows at him, dealing severe damage. The assassin then appeared behind him. On another front, Lu Chen was diligently completing quests. His sword's master complimented his gear, noting that his completely fine gear and complete gear clearing mission were finished. He then urged Lu Chen to come along, as he would lead him to defeat Queen Yu. Just then, the sword's master raised his hand and shouted, "Warriors, charge with me." Lu Chen was astounded, realizing that the sword's master could use brand summoning magic, finding it insane. The sword's master asked when he learned he could teach Lu Chen. On the Iron Bridge graveyard, Lu Chen was fighting bone skeletons of level 23. He shouted for the cowardly Queen Yu to come out. Just then, Queen Yu appeared and commanded, "Slaughter them all." Lu Chen responded, "Bring it down." A fierce battle raged as Queen Yu attacked everyone. The sheer number of opponents overwhelmed them, and the iron bone skeletons proved no match. Someone lamented that killing the undead was useless. The key was to capture the leader or defeat the army. Straight for the Death Swordsman, shouting, asking why he was still alive. The swordsman replied that not only was he alive, but he was also 1 step away from reaching the Azura position. Queen Yu was surprised by this revelation. Just as Queen Yu was looking, he saw Lu Chen disappear into the ground, using a ground dive skill. While Queen Yu was distracted, Lu Chen reappeared from beneath him and delivered a critical hit. Queen Yu cried out in pain. Lu Chen then summoned another bone goose, whose damage was quite high. Queen Yu realized that Lu Chen was also a death swordsman, having summoned the undead. He thought that a single death swordsman couldn't evolve into an Azura unless they absorbed the soul fire of other death swordsmen, but death swordsmen were too rare. He now understood that Lu Chen was truly scheming. Lu Chen retorted, asking what was wrong with being a death swordsman, questioning if he had eaten Queen Yu's rice or something. Lu Chen then asked Queen Yu where he was from. Queen Yu called him a fool, stating that Lu Chen still didn't understand. He began to explain that Lu Chen's precious master wanted him, but just as he spoke, an attack struck. It was a critical blow to Queen Yu's neck, causing him to cough blood and fall to his knees. The swordsman urged Lu Chen to finish him off. Lu Chen complied, and as a result, reached level 23. Lu Chen exclaimed about the massive rewards, having leveled up 3 times in one go and acquiring 2 pieces of bronze gear, just 2 levels away from equipping them. He absorbed the soul fire of other dead souls. He tried to offer some to his master, but the swordsman interrupted him, stating that he was already old and didn't need it, urging him to absorb it quickly before the soul fire disappeared. Lu Chen thanked his master. He then pondered that despite absorbing so many soul fires, he was still a skeleton and hadn't evolved into an undead. The swordsman explained that this was the sorrow of a death swordsman. Lu Chen thought about this sorrow. The swordsman explained that death swordsmen were a very special type of fighter, possessing part of Azura's power, and that they were cursed for it. He clarified that the evolution path of a death swordsman had no intermediate stages. There was only the starting point as a death swordsman and the final destination as an Azura. Lu Chen questioned this, asking if there was only the final destination, and what about the evolution path he had been told about before. The swordsman admitted he had been afraid Lu Chen would lose hope, describing the path as too difficult, with no clear length or direction, only a distant and vague endpoint. He confessed that he had already given up on it but hoped Lu Chen could achieve it. Lu Chen, undeterred, stated that this only made it more challenging. The swordsman praised him, confirming that he had not chosen the wrong person. Lu Chen thought about something. The scene then shifted back to Orion. The guild members in front of him told him to stop acting tough and allow them to finish him off for good. Orion retorted, stating that with just them, if it weren't for that annoying archer, they would already be dead. The person in front of Orion, calling him a stubborn fool, launched a flame thrust attack. However, the scene shifted back to Lu Chen in a wild forest. He reflected that he had finally made it into the top 10, even surprising the grinding maniac Orion. He was at the 7th position. He thought about their agreement to meet that midnight, yet Orion still wasn't there, which felt wrong. He recalled a past conversation where he had asked Orion what price he was willing to pay, and Orion had responded, "Everything I have, even my life, if you wish." Lu Chen, considering Orion's previous commitment, found it impossible that he would miss their first official sparring session. He noted that Orion wasn't even replying to his messages and had been online for a long time but hadn't gained a single level. Something was definitely wrong. Checking the World Channel, Lu Chen discovered that the Konglong Guild was ambushing Orion, who was near death. The assassin remarked on Orion's resilience as a top 10 expert, noting that even with his armor shattered, he was still holding on. He offered Orion a chance to join the Konglong Guild and let the past go. Orion defiantly told him to go to hell. The assassin then attacked him, saying Orion had asked for this. Another person charging towards Orion shouted for him to die. But as soon as he reached near Orion, an attack struck, and the energy was so massive that they were unable to stand, struggling to remain upright. They collectively questioned who was there. It was Lu Chen, who declared that no one dared to touch his comrade. The assassin confronted Lu Chen, claiming that he had come just in time and that he would send both Lu Chen and Orion to hell together. Lu Chen, confident in his plan, retorted that he hadn't come alone and intended to showcase the special skill of his swordsman. With another skill, he swiftly tossed red potions to Orion. Orion was astonished, thinking such a move existed. To distract their pursuers, Lu Chen shouted, "Grand summoning, Skyborn Dragon." Everyone looked up, perplexed. Lu Chen and Orion, using this diversion, quickly escaped. The assassin, realizing they had been tricked, ordered his comrades to chase them. As they fled, blasts erupted behind them. Orion warned Lu Chen that they would be worn out if this continued and that they were dead either way, suggesting they fight back. Lu Chen urged Orion to trust him and simply follow. They quickly lay down. The assassin, seeing this, commanded his forces to keep attacking, blast them to death. Lu Chen wondered if these guys had unlimited mana, as they were spamming skills like it's free. The audience groaned in frustration. Just then, Lu Chen grabbed Orion's hand and instructed him to run towards the undead patrol camp. The assassin, believing he had them cornered, declared that they had nowhere to run and commanded them to prepare to die. Lu Chen, however, retorted that it was the assassin who had nowhere to run, and the undead patrol emerged from the camp. The assassin immediately realized it was a trap. Captain Fak appeared, commending Lu Chen for informing them in advance to use the ground dive skill to hide. He expressed his surprise that humans had dared to ambush their camp. Orion, realizing the depth of Lu Chen's planning, thought, damn, was this all on Undying's plan? The assassin, infuriated, cursed Lu Chen as a crazy, cunning bastard, and admitted he had underestimated him and people like him. Lu Chen warned Orion not to listen to the assassin's nonsense, as he was merely trying to recover his mana. He then commanded his brothers to attack. The assassin was utterly frustrated. Lu Chen instructed Orion to deal with the high-level enemies, while Captain Fak, the shield warriors, and ranged classes would handle the undead patrol. Lu Chen then addressed the assassin, stating that the situation was now reversed. The undead army charged at the humans, screaming for them to be killed. The humans begged for mercy and help. Time, meanwhile, was fighting the same spearman he had fought earlier. He mocked the spearman, saying he was useless without his archers and mages supporting him. The spearman was in no condition to fight and was clearly weaker than Orion. Orion taunted him further, reminding him that he had told him he would kill him in minutes in a one-on-one fight. Just then, an assassin appeared behind Orion, protecting him, and threw something to him, instructing him to catch it and remember to heal up. Orion thanked him, realizing the power of team battles. But just as the person said, "Good opportunity," and was about to attack Lu Chen took him down without even looking, stating that he had overestimated himself. Captain Fak urged his brothers to kill the humans. Just then, he was instantly killed by a light ranger, Wind Fantasy. Lu Chen was stunned, realizing it was an instant one-shot kill and that the Konglong Guild actually had such a powerful player. The spearman then told Wind Fantasy that she had finally agreed to join Konglong and boasted to Orion that he was dead now. Orion, however, retorted that even with her help, the spearman was still going to die. The spearman pleaded with Wind Fantasy to save him. Orion mocked the spearman, asking if he couldn't fight without backup. But Wind Fantasy swiftly chopped off the spearman's head, leaving Orion perplexed, as he thought they were on the same side. However, Wind Fantasy then attacked Orion too, and he was about to die. Just then, Lu Chen, seeing this, cursed, asking what Wind Fantasy was doing. He activated Execution Blade. But as soon as he reached near the girl, she stabbed her sword straight into his neck. Lu Chen and Orion lay dead, their communication open. Orion expressed his frustration, saying that this woman is too officially at the field by herself in such a short time. Lu Chen replied that she had simply taken advantage of everyone's low HP and mana, and probably forgot to activate her bounty, intending to camp their corpses. Lu Chen noted that they were close to the Night Spirit faction, so they would respawn faster. He proposed that he would count to 3, and they would revive together to take her down, then retreat. Orion agreed, stating they couldn't let her enjoy the prize money so easily. They counted to 3, and Lu Chen shouted, "Respawn." Just as the girl was recording the corpses, Lu Chen and Orion attacked her from behind. She parried the attack, stopping them both. They both expressed their surprise at her presence. Orion commended Lu Chen's well-executed attack, which inflicted massive damage on her. She angrily declared them seeking death and retaliated, damaging part of Lu Chen's jaw. Lu Chen thought that was a close call. Suddenly, Orion stabbed her with a spear, stating, "Take this." The girl, enraged, questioned how a piece of trash dared to act so arrogantly and stabbed her sword into his chest. But just then, Lu Chen performed a death slash on her, killing her. Orion, stunned, asked if she wasn't rank number 1, yet she still got killed. He vowed to camp her corpse all night to see how she truly was, emphasizing his point by kicking her. Lu Chen urged Orion to retreat immediately, explaining that without the undead patrol camp, they would be in trouble when Konglong Guild members respawned, as their respawn countdown was a full day. They ran out of the area. Lu Chen then declared they would focus on grinding for experience and leveling up on the outskirts of Frost Ridge. Lu Chen noticed Xingren's unusual silence and asked her what was wrong. She replied that there was an injured old man nearby and asked if he could help him. Lu Chen, thinking about an injured old man, agreed to check on him, telling her not to be sad. Xingran expressed her belief that Lu Chen was a good person. Lu Chen, noticing no quest notification, decided to investigate anyway. Lu Chen approached the old man, who was loudly moaning about dying and cursing wild bears. Lu Chen, observing his loud voice, thought that he wouldn't die anytime soon. He asked the old man if he was all right. The old man, shocked, exclaimed that Lu Chen was a night spirit and urged him not to come near him. Lu Chen mentally cursed, realizing he had forgotten to wear his mask. He pondered whether the old man would still give him a quest if he found out he was a night spirit, concluding he couldn't let this quest slip away. He then began to sob to the old man, claiming he didn't understand. He fabricated a story about being a human warrior who was bitten by a night spirit while working outside and turned into one, but he maintained that he had always followed his principles and would rather eat grass than harm humans. He then demonstrated by eating grass in front of the old man. The old man, moved by his apparent kindness, remarked that whether one was a night spirit or a human, having a good heart made them a good person. Lu Chen readily agreed, then asked why the old man was injured. The old man explained that he was the only hunter in the village and had come to hunt for food, but the place was filled with rampaging wild bears. He had been surrounded for 3 days and would have been dead if Lu Chen hadn't arrived. Lu Chen reassured him not to worry and offered to help him get out of the forest. The old man agreed, saying he was fine and that if Lu Chen helped him, he would teach him hunting and cooking, 2 skills he was best known for. Lu Chen eagerly accepted, thinking that people dreamed of getting 1 secondary profession, and here he was getting 2 for free. After that, Lu Chen noted his increased power at level 25, with a new weapon and cloak. He realized he was too overpowered, and his bounty had also increased. Just then, Sishun called, asking what Lu Chen had done again, as his bounty had just hit 80,000. Lu Chen exclaimed about the 80,000 bounty and jokingly wished he could kill himself to claim the reward. Sishun immediately said Lu Chen couldn't kill himself, but he could do it for him. Lu Chen acknowledged the good point and urged Sishun to quickly reach level 25 so they could split the bounty. Sishun complained that leveling up required resources and asked Lu Chen to support his little bro with some cash. Lu Chen questioned where the 15 silver coins he had just given him had gone, as they should not have been spent so quickly. Sishun explained that Lu Chen didn't understand the prices in Frost Ice City, stating that 1 apple jam that restored 100 MP cost 4 silver points, and after buying equipment and 2 gems, he was broke. He reiterated that 4 silver points for that stuff was expensive. The scene shifted to the Konglong Guild headquarters. A girl angrily complained that a battle squad from Konglong had been wiped out twice by the same guy, calling it a disgrace. The spearman urged the boss to calm down, stating that he had already increased the bounty, and with enough reward money, bounty hunters would eventually wear Lu Chen down. The boss agreed, letting the bounty stand. He instructed them to inform the bounty hunters that their true enemies were the Dominator Guild, Shadow Hall, and Ancient Sword Dream Soul, emphasizing that there was no need to waste too much effort on Lu Chen. The assassin asked about Wind Fantasy, noting that she had been getting more aggressive lately and that they hadn't placed a bounty on her as per the boss's daughter's instructions. The boss again told them to let her be for now, as he had his own plans for her. In Frost Ice City's Frost Plaza, someone shouted about rare magic stones for sale. One person asked the seller for the price of an item. Lu Chen, now a merchant, loudly advertised his apple jam, selling it for 20 coins per jar, also offering high-quality bear pelts. He thought about his hunting sales and how he could gather apples directly, saving material costs, making 2 silver per jar of steel. He questioned how 4 silver gems could compete with him. Everyone in the crowd started negotiating, some offering 5, some 3, some 10. Lu Chen told them not to push all at once. He heard he had already made 400 silver coins, recognizing it as easy money. Just then, someone inquired about a nice-looking bear pelt, asking its price. Lu Chen praised the buyer's discernment, stating that it was a level 2 material. The person in front was a level 25 ranger, the leader of the Dominator Guild. Lu Chen offered it for only 2 silver points per piece. Lu Chen thought about how the leader of the Dominator Guild was loaded and decided it was time to rip him off. He then explained that with a good tailor, 1 bear pelt could make 2 or 3 high-quality leather armors. The leader agreed, noting that it was indeed from a level 28 forest bear and very rare. He declared that he would take them all. Lu Chen thanked him, calling him generous, and internally thought about how easy money was with rich and foolish people. However, the leader then revealed his awareness of Lu Chen's identity, stating that walking around with an 80,000 bounty and still acting so boldly was, as expected of you, undying. Lu Chen, taken aback, asked what the leader meant. The leader, remaining calm, said that there was no need for Brother Undying to panic, assuring him they were not enemies. He expressed his amazement at Lu Chen's strength and courage. Lu Chen, however, declared that the shop was closing and bid his customer farewell. The leader insisted, asking Lu Chen not to leave in such a hurry, as it was their first meeting, and he wanted to discuss some business. He complimented Lu Chen's high-quality apple jam, assuming his other goods must be good as well. He then requested 1,000 portions of tire tube glutinous rice chicken and told Lu Chen to name his price. Lu Chen was shocked, asking if the leader was trying to kill him. He thought that the leader letting him set the price indicated not only skill but also age. Lu Chen stated that the most he could do was 100 portions at an original price of 10 silver per portion, now selling for 30. The leader readily agreed, handing over 5 silver as a deposit. Lu Chen inwardly cursed, realizing he had set the price too low. In the wild forest, Lu Chen and Orion were sparring. Orion complained that Lu Chen was just tickling him. Just then, Orion spotted an opportunity and attacked Lu Chen. Lu Chen calmly stated, "Just kidding." Suddenly, a level 28 wild bear appeared. Lu Chen then explained that opportunities in battle aren't always real, they could be traps. He emphasized the importance of staying calm in unexpected situations and making the most beneficial choice. He observed Orion's quick reaction, as Orion had stopped the bear's attack. Lu Chen remarked on Orion's ability to switch to defensive stats instantly to minimize damage. Orion then questioned the bear's presence, noting its level was higher than Lu Chen's. Lu Chen explained that it was a 100 skeleton he had converted from a previous quest, and that anything he killed, regardless of its level, could be converted into a summon, with higher levels looking cooler. Orion then asked why, since they were both night spirits, Lu Chen could summon undead skeletons while he couldn't. Lu Chen explained that Orion was a 100 knight, while he was an undead swordsman, stating that death swordsmen were stronger and possessed more unique skills. Orion expressed skepticism, asking why he had never seen a powerful death swordsman before. Lu Chen replied that, besides his teacher and himself, he didn't think there were any others, and that they were the rest of the death swordsmen. Just then, Orion found an opening and attacked, telling the Bear King to go to hell. Lu Chen confirmed it was the Bear King. The bear was back again. Orion cursed. Lu Chen advised him that he had used all his skills on a tanky summon and reminded him that he had more than one enemy. Lu Chen was about to attack him. Orion, having lost every match that day, reflected that he was only ranked second on the bounty list, but the gap between him and Undying was like a chasm. He believed Undying was truly unbeatable. He admired Lu Chen's control of the battlefield, judgment of enemies, and precise operations, and felt that despite his losses, he was getting stronger. He thought about finding a stronger opponent to test himself and that he needed to find an expert to check it out. The scene shifted to Blackwater Marsh. A Blackwater Turtle crocodile boss was surrounded by a team. Their leader commanded his brothers to bomb it to death, stating that the boss couldn't hold on anymore. As the attacks continued, Orion arrived and landed a severe critical hit on the boss. The team was shocked, cursing his arrival. Other team members urged their captain to calm down, identifying him as the famous Orion, who had wiped out several elite squads from other guilds and was ranked second on the bounty list. They noted that the Konglong Guild was already driven crazy by him. The boss thought about how they had run into a scaring machine. The boss then addressed Orion, telling him not to go too far, as they were from the Dabuba Guild. Orion coolly responded, "Oh, you are from Duba? Perfect." The boss, confused, asked what he meant. Orion declared that killing the boss was just a bonus. They were his real target. Everyone was shocked. Orion, calling them Duba's elite, acknowledged their toughness but effortlessly beat them all up. He thought that he had truly become stronger. In Frost Ice City's commercial street, Sishun asked Lu Chen if the boss really needed to have his name on it. He explained that the taxes for Night Spirit players in Frost Ice City were too high, and if Lu Chen was the boss, they could save a lot. He then expressed his surprise that Lu Chen had both hunter and chef as secondary professions, noting that Lu Chen gathered his ingredients and cooked them himself, making his costs nearly zero except for seasoning. He speculated that when Bossy Dominator found out, he would cry, because he had bid triple the price. Lu Chen scoffed, asking why he would cry for Dabuba, stating that this money was nothing to him. He then inquired about the intelligence gathering he had asked Sishun to do. Sishun reported that Ancient Sword Dream Soul was currently lacking top-tier players, and their leader hadn't logged in yet. Lu Chen stated his need to level up quickly and told Sishun to handle the ingredient sales, instructing him to give a discount if Ancient Sword Dream Soul members bought food. Sishun assured him that he had the logistics covered. He then asked Lu Chen if he could transfer his bounty to him before he leveled up. Lu Chen looked at him and said that with Sichuan's weak gear, no one would believe he had his bounty. He handed him a black stone gear weapon for now and promised to get him a full set in a few days. Sishun gratefully called him the best bro. In the forest, Lu Chen was again fighting Orion. He suddenly questioned who had done this. In their communication, Orion urged Lu Chen to hurry, claiming that Wind Fantasy and the Konglong Guild were about to massacre Frost Ridge. Lu Chen scoffed at the idea of a massacre and dismissed it as big talk. Just then he saw Wind Fantasy. He dryly stated, "It's you again." Their fight began. She retorted, "So what if it is?" Lu Chen expressed his surprise that the #1 player on the rankings was actually teaming up with the Konglong Guild. She dismissively told him it was none of his business. Their attacks clashed. Just then, Orion was resurrected. He thought too fast. "I can't even intervene. These are two monsters." The fight between Lu Chen and Wind Fantasy was incredibly fast. Suddenly, Lu Chen summoned an undead level 28 bear that moved towards Wind Fantasy. She thought, how can a summoned creature surpass its master's level? As Lu Chen and his undead bear advanced, she commented that the summon was interesting, but unfortunately, it was a dark creature. Lu Chen saw her move and thought, "Is that?" He shouted, "Bear King." It was a light critical hit. His bear protected him, but Lu Chen was now exposed to light, and his defense was reduced by 20%. He realized that one-shotting the Bear King and reducing defense, light-type skills had too much damage bonus against the Night Spirit faction. Wind Fantasy then declared, "You are next." Lu Chen wondered if that was all she had. She then used Ice skill Ice Stasis, and the assassin took a third of the damage. Wind Fantasy had actually acquired a skill card. Lu Chen thought, isn't that something only level 35 plus bosses drop? The boss acknowledged Wind Fantasy having a skill card was surprising. Lu Chen stopped the attack. Orion, watching from the side, thought, damn it, new skill cards were okay, but this is just insane. The scene shifted to Wind Fantasy. She commanded her forces to go, and then warned someone to watch out as a blast occurred. Lu Chen lunged towards Wind Fantasy with a massive move. Everyone was terrified. With a skill card in his mouth, he declared, "I have a skill card too." The Konglong Guild members were barely holding on, clinging to a pillar. The boss exclaimed, "What the hell? Why do they all have skill cards?" Wind Fantasy thought he countered Ice Stone with his skill card and then unleashed flames. Their attacks and defenses clashed, and their battle resumed. Lu Chen urged her to drop her weapon, stating they were finished. But Wind Fantasy pulled out a dagger and stopped his attack. Lu Chen thought, dual wielding. She then grabbed the sword again and landed a slash on Lu Chen, but he dodged it, thinking, damn it, even if it weren't for the delay, I couldn't even use the green flame flow dodge rate. Wind Fantasy was surprised that he had dodged, deeming it impossible. Lu Chen decided he couldn't drag this any longer. He used his Creed Wolf skill card, increasing his attack speed and movement speed by 5%. He attacked Wind Fantasy. The assassin exclaimed, "No way." He even dodged the skill card enhanced attack. The boss declared that even an entire guild might not get a single skill card, wondering how Lu Chen had two. They both attacked each other, dealing severe damage. Lu Chen thought, damage. She managed to take me down with her curse, that light-type counter. Orion thought, this is a true battle. Both sides are executing perfect moves with no wasted actions. Can I really catch up with these two? Just as they died, they disrupted each other. Wind Fantasy provoked Lu Chen, bring it on. Flowing light slash. Lu Chen retorted, again execution blade. The guildmaster of the Konglong Guild noted that the two were completely locked in a deathmatch and quickly called AOGO for reinforcements. Lu Chen and Wind Fantasy's fight continued. They were both killed and disrupted again. Lu Chen then proposed that they stop killing each other, as they were just losing levels at this point. She agreed. Orion then commented that they had finally calmed down and pointed out their surroundings. Lu Chen said that the rats had finally shown themselves, and the entire Konglong Guild was present. Their leader commented that their battle was so exciting he hadn't dared to miss a second. Wind Fantasy told Dragon Walks the World that his timing was perfect, as the kill recording was complete. She reminded him of their deal to pay the bounty and the commission. But just then, she was attacked, and her recording device was destroyed. She exclaimed in shock. The leader casually said, "Oops, I slipped my hand. It's just a camera." Not mad about a camera, are you? She called him Dragon Walks the World. The leader then added that he knew she was there for the bounty, but it was too bad his target wasn't just them, but also her. He challenged Wind Fantasy, asking if she thought she could provoke the Konglong Guild and walk away alive just because she was #1 on the rankings. Lu Chen mentally concluded that they were all going to die. Wind Fantasy, enraged, cursed, Dragon walks the world, calling him a despicable scoundrel and regretting not killing him with one strike when he had first invited her to cooperate. She angrily called him a bastard trash. Just then, she was invited by Lu Chen to join a team communication channel. Lu Chen remarked that he had invited her countless times before, but she had chosen to join the Konglong Guild and refused to show respect, stating that she had chosen this path herself and couldn't blame others. Now that Wind Fantasy had joined their guild, Orion, observing the chaos, asked her why she was causing such a mess, hurting others without benefiting herself, and if she was happy now. She retorted, asking if he wanted to die again and if Lu Chen had brought her in just to let that useless guy mock her. Lu Chen intervened, urging everyone to calm down, stating that it was not the time for arguments. In real time, he mocked the Konglong leader, saying that if he couldn't even destroy the recording, he was afraid of damaging the Konglong Guild's reputation. The leader, confident in his position, declared that a boss killer who roamed around for money, a miser who eliminated quest competitors, and the #1 bounty hunter with a notorious reputation, no one would believe what the three of them said. He claimed to have already destroyed the only bounty video evidence, stating that all that was left was for them to quit the game and put an end to the matter. He dramatically announced that the Konglong Guild would bring justice to the people and ordered his team to send them on their way. As attacks rained down on Lu Chen, the leader instructed his team to record the moment and upload it to the official website, wanting everyone to know the consequences of provoking the Konglong Guild. All three of them were under attack. They heard a voice protest, "No way," but they cut through the attack. The leader, struggling, shouted to get them. Just then, the spearman ran towards them, offering to perform for his boss. Lu Chen activated Execution Blade, and Wind Fantasy used Flowing Light Slash. They both attacked, telling their opponents to get lost. The leader, calling them two useless fools, declared he would have to do it himself and used Flame Thrust. But just then, Orion intervened, telling the leader to leave it to me. Lu Chen thought not good. The leader also had a bad feeling and shouted for everyone to protect their brothers. But Orion attacked the leader, stating that he was underestimating him by trying to handle two things at once. The leader scoffed, stating that once Orion's skill disappeared, he would be nothing but fresh meat ready to be crushed. Orion confidently declared that Undying had given him a bag full of sticky rice chicken, and with a Vajra body, he could tank them for an entire day. He challenged the leader, asking if he had such backup. He added, "And one more thing, is it only the ranged players in Konglong that need protection?" The leader was stunned by this revelation. Lu Chen and Wind Fantasy, taking advantage of the distraction, attacked the healers and strategists. The strategist cursed, wondering how a level 17 player could challenge a level 25. As the leader witnessed this, Orion took the opportunity and tried to stab him, but the leader blocked it, stating that he had lost too many levels and his attack skills were too weak. The leader mocked Orion, asking if he thought he could hurt him and telling him to get lost. Orion, frustrated, decided to stick to being a tank for now. The leader then ordered everyone to attack, stating that the support couldn't recover anymore and to kill them. Wind Fantasy noted that their attackers were too fierce and they needed to find a way to retreat. Lu Chen stopped her, reassuring her that they were a team. Just then, Orion appeared in front of them, declaring, "Here I come. That's right, we are a team." His defense was incredibly strong. Lu Chen stated that their attack was almost over and to prepare to counterattack. As soon as the attacks ceased, Lu Chen attacked, and Wind Fantasy followed him. The leader declared that Lu Chen wouldn't succeed. Just then, Wind Fantasy reached near him and told him that his opponent was her. The tank, whom Lu Chen was approaching, scoffed, telling Lu Chen that he was brainless for throwing himself into the crowd. Another man shouted, "Die, Undying." But Lu Chen activated his skill card, Flare Wolf Flame. The tank exclaimed, "How does he still have a skill card?" The team leader, surprised, declared that Lu Chen had forced him to use Demon Haunt Triple Strike, his skill card. His first, second, and third attacks were critical strikes of 1,500%. Wind Fantasy thought he was too strong. She moved towards Lu Chen, stating that it was his turn, Undying. Lu Chen, seeing his chance, said, "Perfect timing," and attacked him, but his sword broke into two pieces. The leader, triumphant, declared, "Die." But his attack was blocked by Orion's barrier. Orion, however, was stabbed in the head. Lu Chen praised Orion's well-executed move. Orion, in turn, cursed, asking why Lu Chen was everywhere. Orion explained that he was the tank of the team, and as long as he was alive, none of them would fall. He then thrust his spear into the leader's stomach, telling him to take this. The leader, mocking him, asked if he thought he could kill him with that broken spear. Orion retorted that this was a team battle, and the spear's damage didn't need to be high, just enough to get the job done. Just then, Wind Fantasy appeared from behind, saying, "Die, trash," and chopped off his head. Lu Chen, Orion, and Wind Fantasy were all exhausted. Orion remarked on how satisfying that team battle was, declaring that team battles were the best. Wind Fantasy asked if he wasn't logging off. He confirmed that he was, explaining that he had lost too much that day and his level had dropped significantly, so he needed to grind and level up. She then casually asked if he was in GS programs. He confirmed he was in NS Yesterday City. She suggested they meet up offline. Lu Chen agreed to meet up but insisted she show her face first, or he wouldn't meet someone whose real face he didn't even know. She agreed. Lu Chen sat in a cafe, attempting to appear relaxed, though his frequent glances at the clock betrayed his tension. The time was approaching 3 in the afternoon, an hour that often brought unexpected betrayals. Just then, a woman approached him with an offer to buy him coffee. His instincts immediately warned him of impending trouble. The woman was none other than Lin Yinxin, renowned as the most beautiful girl at S University, and she was not alone. A mysterious man accompanied her, adding to the intrigue. Lu Chen narrowed his eyes, studying her carefully. It was unusual for someone of her status to approach him so politely, which made him question her motives. What kind of scheme was she plotting? As it turned out, her intention was to apologize. She confessed that she had acted out of greed, using her influence within the Guanglong Guild to target him, and now sought to make amends. Lu Chen, no stranger to betrayal, responded with practiced indifference. He considered the matter long buried. After all, $1 million bounty might justify one attempt on his life, but did she really need to hunt him down over 10 times? Yinxin admitted that while the first attack had been purely business, the subsequent ones were driven by sheer spite. Her pettiness, it seemed, knew no bounds. She went on to explain her frustration in greater detail. For 10 grueling hours, she had prepared for a high-stakes quest to eliminate the under-patrol camp, only for Lu Chen and Fatty Guizue to ruin everything by dragging the Guanglong Guild into the chaos. Her meticulously laid plans had crumbled, her reward had vanished, and her anger had festered. Observing her simmering resentment, Lu Chen silently concluded that provoking her further would be unwise, perhaps even dangerous. Then came her proposal. She wanted to form a guild and recruit him as a key member. The idea of 2 former top-ranked players joining forces was undeniably formidable. Yet Lu Chen declined, preferring to remain independent. Unfazed, she suggested they could at least be allies, to which he agreed, though not without a warning. He suspected her true target was not just the Guanglong Guild but something, or someone, far more significant. She confirmed his suspicions without hesitation: Ban D dominance, and, incidentally, Lu Chen himself. The revelation only amused him. This alliance, he realized, would be anything but dull. Later back at his apartment, Fatty marveled at their new living space and inquired about their next move. Lu Chen revealed the first step in their plan, recruiting the inaugural member for their gaming studio. Fatty, ever the optimist, suggested Lin Yinxin, citing both her skill and her striking appearance. Lu Chen laughed at the idea. Someone of her caliber would never join a fledgling studio, especially since she had ambitions of her own. When pressed for an alternative, Lu Chen dropped a name that left Fatty stunned: Guizue. A top 10 player, second only to Lu Chen in bounty rankings. Fatty was incredulous. Could they really convince someone of that stature to join them? Lu Chen remained confident. But for now, sleep took priority. Planning could wait. The scene shifted to the virtual world of Frostrate Cemetery, where Lu Chen finally confronted Orion. He assessed the other players' stats. Impressive, though not quite at his or Lin Yinxin's level, yet more than capable of holding his own against most opponents. When they met at the designated location, Orion made a dramatic declaration. He was undying. A bold claim, but one that only heightened Lu Chen's interest. Casually, Lu Chen broached the subject of guild affiliations before sliding in his offer. He was establishing a gaming studio, one with prime facilities, free meals, private rooms, and unlimited access to mana-enhancing food. A paradise for serious gamers. Orion, however, was not easily swayed. Many had sought his allegiance. What made Lu Chen's proposal different? The answer was simple yet compelling. If Orion truly aspired to stand among the elite, Lu Chen's guidance could make it happen. A few strategic victories under his mentorship, and that dream would be within reach. Orion accepted, though not without a caveat. One day, he vowed, he would surpass Lu Qin. The latter could only sigh inwardly. Why did everyone seem so intent on defeating him? Later, at the train station, Lu Qin greeted his new companion with a cheerful wave and an informal nickname. Zhejiai, he called out, much to Orion's visible irritation. The protest was immediate. Orion insisted on being addressed properly. Fatty, ever the joker, only added to the chaos. Over a meal of hot pot, Fatty declared the trio blood brothers, a sentiment Orion accepted with solemnity. Lu Qin, however, couldn't help but wonder if recruiting someone so openly ambitious was a stroke of genius or a future regret. When Fatty questioned why Orion referred to him as bro, the explanation was unexpectedly mathematical. The numbers 1 and 3, when placed together, resembled the letter B. Fatty could only groan at the absurdity. It was clear their partnership would be anything but ordinary. Back in Lu Chen's room, he apologized for the disarray, prompting Orion to offer assistance in tidying up. As he did so, his attention was abruptly captured by an object, a gaming helmet. But not just any helmet. This was an exclusive model, reserved for Hall of Fame inductees. His suspicion grew. Could it be? Was Lu Chen the legendary genius of Ling Tong, the famed Liu Ken? Fatty eagerly confirmed it. This was indeed the champion of the first King of Kings tournament. Yet Orion remained skeptical, recalling another gaming icon. Night Chin, the player who had defeated South Korea's Park Han-wang, securing a victory that had become a source of national pride. The tension between them mounted until Orion's gaze fell upon a photograph, Lu Chen standing beside Park Han-wang himself. The realization struck like lightning. This was no mere coincidence. The man before him was his idol, Night Chin. The legend, the untouchable master. In an instant, Orion's demeanor shifted entirely. He bowed deeply, pledging unwavering loyalty and vowing to support Lu Chen in achieving his goals. Lu Chen, however, clarified that this was not about personal vengeance. Their mission was far grander, to conquer Frozen Ice City, dominate the Z Country server, and eventually expand their influence worldwide. Why settle for anything less? He then proposed a name for their studio, Blood Mercenaries. It was fitting. Both he and Orion specialized in Night Spirit classes, which emphasized blood-themed abilities, and their financial situation meant they would need to undertake bounty missions for income. The name was both menacing and pragmatic. Orion approved wholeheartedly. It sounded fierce, befitting their ambitions. With that, Fatty raised his chopsticks in a toast, sealing their pact. From that moment onward, they were no longer just gamers. They were Blood Mercenary Studio, a force to be reckoned with. The studio was dim, cluttered, and humming with the chaotic energy of ambition without funding. Amid the mess sat Lu Chen, Fatty, and Orion, each fueled by determination and the more immediate need to eat. Lu Chen finally declared their studio officially open. It was time to set their goals. Fatty, living proof that priorities could be hilarious, proposed conquering Frost Ice City and assembling a virtual harem of the game's most beautiful female players. Orion countered with violence. He wanted Guanglong Guild dismantled, Dominator wiped out, and Temple Zulong obliterated. The group dynamic was already a mess. Lu Chen brought them back to reality. They were broke, completely and humiliatingly broke. Glory could wait, they needed money. Fatty sighed and broke down their financial apocalypse. 6 months' rent, for premium gaming rigs, and 80,000 silver in game assets, all burned in 48 hours. Their once mighty bounty income had vanished, and they were now surviving on fumes. Lu Chen confirmed their funds wouldn't even cover meals for the week. If they didn't act fast, they'd be chewing on pebbles. Orion suggested turning in his bounty for cash. Fatty loved the idea and was already imagining the reward for capturing Zhejiai. But Lu Chen wasn't in the mood. He left them to handle the bounty and focused on grinding. In the wild forest, Lu Chen was battling with desperation. Things were looking up, until the bounty on him was suddenly cancelled. Apparently, Guanglong had finally grown a brain. Fatty brought the news, along with another defeat. They were back to dungeon crawling for a meager 40 silver per run. Still, it wasn't entirely bad. They were leveling up efficiently and scraping by. Fatty soon revealed a glimmer of hope, a side quest from Peerless Expert. The task was to gather 100 level 3 ingredients in 12 hours, each worth 50 silver. A tight deadline with a tempting overtime fee. It smelled like prep work for a major boss fight, and it reeked of cash. Fatty briefly drifted into regret, mumbling about how, if not for his fallout with Lin Yinxin, he'd be topping leaderboards. But therapy was a luxury. Coins came first. Meanwhile, Lu Chen's relentless effort paid off. He climbed to 9th on the city leaderboard and set his sights on a risky target, the Golden Scale Python King in Coldu Canyon. The boss was 10 levels higher and radiated danger. Even being near it felt like gambling with his rent money. But Lu Chen didn't hesitate. His first strike hit the weak spot. The python responded with venom, knocking a chunk off his HP bar. After summoning Big Bear, his reliable undead sidekick, he jumped back into the fight and finished the beast off. He hit level 31 and snagged the number 1 spot on the leaderboard. The rewards were decent, solid XP, a few handy items, and skill books he didn't need but could sell. Practicality could come later, profit came first. Then inspiration struck. Why keep Big Bear when he could control an undead python? With a spell, he made the snake his new summon. Big Bear was retired, loyal but outdated. With the ingredient quest nearly done, Lu Chen moved on to his class promotion. At Frostrate Cross, his master welcomed him with judgmental silence. Apparently he was late. Lu Chen ignored the remark. The master demanded 5 gold coins and threw in 3 skill books. No trials, no life or death tests, just a transaction. After a lackluster ceremony, Lu Chen became an advanced death sportsman. He unlocked 2 new passives, Undead Regeneration and Ghost Armor. His master, in classic creepy fashion, casually mentioned stealing his soul someday. Lu Chen pretended that was normal. Elsewhere in Crying Canyon, another battle raged, against the Decay Knight, a brutal level 39 boss. Lu Chen arrived mid-fight, just in time to hear a teammate screaming about the boss's overpowered stats. Then, cutting through the chaos like a blade, Lin Yinxin appeared. She tanked the boss effortlessly. Lu Chen, amazed, asked why the boss was so insanely strong. Lin revealed it was her class promotion quest. He was stunned. Her trial looked like a full raid, while his had been a 5-minute exchange of gold. She explained that special class quests were always tougher. Lu Chen started to suspect that his own master had rushed him for shady reasons, probably related to that whole soul-stealing thing. Back in the fight, the Decay Knight took a hit from a holy spell, weakening it. But it struck back fiercely, nearly crushing Lin. Lu Chen stepped in, summoning his undead python. Lin was shocked. Summon switching mid-battle wasn't supposed to be possible. Lu Chen didn't explain. The python's poison kicked in, draining the boss's SP rapidly. Momentum shifted. When the battle ended, Lin reached level 32 and stole the top leaderboard spot from Lu Chen. The stone canyon trembled under the clash of steel and magic. Spells exploded like thunder, and the air itself seemed to crack with pressure. In the center of the chaos, the Guanglong Guild was locked in a brutal fight with the Stone Guardian, a towering D-rank boss whose fists seemed to hold centuries of rage. Watching from a distance, Lu Chen and Lin Yinxin observed silently, eyes sharp and calculating. This was the job she had promised. A 3 gold coin payout in exchange for stealing a boss kill right under the Guanglong Guild's nose. Lu Chen listened as she explained that the Guardian guaranteed a drop, a special seal card, a legendary item worth more than most guilds made in a week. Lu Chen, always the negotiator, demanded more pay. Lin agreed, but her terms were strict: no success, no payment. She warned him then. The Guanglong Guild hadn't sent amateurs. Peerless Expert, a level 31 warrior, and a magic knight of equal strength were among them, both ranked on the Heavenly Ward leaderboard. Lu Chen winced at the mention. He had unknowingly sold ingredients to one of them earlier, and would have tripled the price if he'd known. As the boss's health plummeted into rage mode, the Guanglong fighters began falling back, unknowingly retreating right toward where Lu Chen and Lin waited. Lin prepared to move, but Lu Chen held her back. The signal would be when the boss's HP dropped to 2,000. Timing would be everything. Moments later, 2 Guanglong members charged forward under their leader's command, landing blows that pushed the Guardian past the threshold. That was the cue. Lu Chen and Lin launched their ambush. The Guanglong leader turned just in time to see betrayal unfolding, too late to react. Lu Chen summoned his undead python, its massive body coiling between the 2 sides. He made it clear, no one would stop him. Chaos broke loose instantly. A defensive barrier went up, iron wall, but Lin shattered it with one glowing thrust of her blade. Without hesitation, she pressed forward, blocking the Guardian's attacks while Lu Chen leapt overhead. His first strike missed. Lin made a snide remark. The second strike hit true, a critical blow that not only defeated the boss but bumped Lu Chen to level 32. The Kwanglong team froze, stunned at the damage. Lin's voice sliced through the shock, warning them not to touch the loot. One brave soul took a step forward. She gave the retreat command. With their prize secured, they turned and fled. Spells and curses chased them, Kwanglong hurling threats as they ran. Lin glanced at Lu Chen, asking silently if he had a plan. He did. A few strikes at the canyon wall triggered a rock slide, sealing their escape route behind rubble. Lu Chen tossed a mocking wave as they disappeared into the wild. Later, deep in the jungle, Lin collapsed against a tree, winded and frustrated. The loot had been disappointing. Only one seal card was usable. The rest didn't match her class. The weapon was incompatible. The ring was dark attribute, useless to her. And worst of all, she still owed Lu Chen. Meanwhile, Lu Chen admired his own reward, a beast-faced wind cloud eye helm, but his attention drifted to the Blood Guardian ring in Lin's hand. He offered a trade, her ring in place of his payment. She refused immediately. It was a growth-type item, far more valuable than his labor. She named her price, 15 gold coins. Lu Chen, calm as ever, revealed Moonblade, a growth-type dagger he had acquired. Lin nearly choked, demanding to know where he got it. He casually said it dropped. That shifted the tone. Lu Chen now demanded 25 gold coins, plus the ring. Lin groaned, called him a greedy leech, and reluctantly agreed. As she handed it over, she muttered a reluctant thank you. Lu Chen smiled wider. Beautiful or not, clients who paid well would always get results from the blood mercenaries. Meanwhile, in the Frost Forest, another guild was present with Orion among them. A guild member complained that the boss was already dead and questioned why the Shadow Clan was blocking their way. Ming Yi, a level 28 priest, stood with them. Another Shadow Clan member stepped forward and said they just wanted to do some business with two players from the ancient sword Dream Soul. Shadow Filling made an offer. He liked Lai Young's bronze armor and offered 2 gold coins for it, claiming they wouldn't fight if he handed it over. Lai Young refused, saying bronze gear was worth at least 20 gold coins and they weren't idiots. The Shadow Clan leader got irritated, but Orion stepped up, stabbed his blade into the ground, and offered his services. For an extra 50 silver coins in commission, he promised to kill them all. In the middle of the canyon conflict, the opposing team's leader scoffed, mocking Orion's team and accusing them of arrogance. One of Orion's teammates calmly reminded them that this was blood mercenaries' business. But the other team's leader wasn't backing down. He ordered his team to attack and make them cough up the armor, ridiculing the blood mercenary strength. Yet as the clash erupted, he quickly realized the mercenaries had real skill. One of the enemies charged, shouting for Fatty to die, causing Fatty to panic and scream for help. The enemy leader sneered, claiming he would grant that death wish. Just as the situation turned dire, Orion saw the incoming attack. But before it could land, a sword slashed through the air. Lu Chen had arrived. He declared that anyone who dared to harm his brother was asking for death. In the blink of an eye, he was already in front of the enemy leader. Orion's team leader, who had once led Lu Chen's group, recognized him immediately. She confirmed it was indeed Lu Chen. The enemy leader, unimpressed, called Lu Chen's words arrogant. Lu Chen's first attack missed. The leader mocked him for missing at such close range, calling it a pathetic show. But Lu Chen responded with a cold smirk and followed up with a devastating critical hit. In just one strike, the enemy leader's character vanished from the game. He couldn't believe the damage and shouted for his team to retreat. Lu Chen taunted their retreat speed, and his team confirmed it was time to go as well. Meanwhile, in the Blue Sky Canyon, a level 31 warrior named Marquez received a message warning her about the Undying. She paused, alarmed. The Undying, one of the top 3 players on the leaderboard, was not someone to underestimate. Back with Lu Chen's squad, as they were walking away, a lady from another team called out to them. Lan playfully asked if she needed something. She thanked them for their timely rescue and then offered Lu Chen a spot in their guild, Ancient Sword Dream Soul. She praised their guild's power and wealth. Lu Chen, recognizing her but staying composed, turned her down politely. He said he already had his own guild, the Blood Mercenaries, but they were open to hired missions, especially for someone as beautiful as her. As he left, he casually told her they'd meet again. Inwardly, Lu Chen was amused. He had originally been part of Ancient Sword Dream Soul. What did they mean by asking him to join again? As the woman walked away, she turned to her teammate, Zhu Yang, and asked if Lu Chen resembled someone they once knew. Zhu Yang confirmed it. Lu Chen. She mentioned how Eve had been depressed after a past incident and missed her chance at promotion. Zhu Yang added that even if they helped her now, it might not make a difference. All they could do was try elsewhere. In Frost Ice City's pet market, someone grumbled about the price of a regular ceiling card, 20 silver coins for a card that couldn't guarantee safety. They wondered if the boss would ever make it to CU status. But for now, they focused on catching a pet. They reviewed their options: Green Mantis, a powerful but slow attack pet; Slime, a solid tank; Wildfire Wolf and Saber-Tooth Tiger, both great all-rounders. After weighing attack, agility, defense, and HP, the decision was made. In the Poison Bee Forest, Lu Chen made his choice. With a battle value of 19 points, it wasn't bad at all. He admired its strength and compared it to his own stats, feeling mildly frustrated. Looking at his gear, he joked that it made him want to throw his own items away. Suddenly, two opponents appeared, Dominator Word God and Dominator Night God. They wanted that pet. One of them offered 5 gold coins for it. Lien dismissed the offer immediately, saying it was a joke. The warrior warned him not to be like Lai Yang, who had refused to cooperate and demanded the boss be handed over. Lu Chen replied coldly that they were underestimating him. Without warning, he attacked them both and vanished behind them in an instant. As they turned in confusion, Lu Chen reappeared, called them trash, and stabbed one of them fatally. The second attacker turned his weapon toward Lien, declaring that the Undying would die there and then. But before he could even react, Lu Chen sliced him cleanly in half and walked past without looking back. The enemy couldn't believe what just happened. Lu Chen stood over them, thinking to himself, so these were the fresh players who had defeated Zhuang? In his eyes, the ancient sword Dream Soul was sacred, and it deserved more respect. Just then, a surprise attack struck him from behind.